What the hell? Oh,
What the
I
hell?
already done messed up. That's how you know I'm. That's how you know I'm a little shabby. uh,
What's good?
but what's good, man? What's good, man? Diehard state of mind. Um, Shouts to you, Hero. Shouts to all the Knick fans that's gonna be tuning in. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to another Diehard state of mind. I think this is episode 95, if I'm not mistaken. That's a lot of episodes. By the way. Next off season underway, and Malik Beasley name has come up today, which is very interesting. I guess before we even get into the Malik Beasley situation, I guess, how was your summer so far, man? How you doing? How's your day so far, bro?
It's chilling, man. I took 3 weeks off straight. You know what I'm saying? Then I worked 10 days straight. So now I'm on a 4-day weekend. So this begins my 4-day weekend. So I didn't do shit today, man. I've been chilling all day. I've been my family been messing with me, kind of like chiming in. They want to do stuff. I didn't want to do nothing, man. Especially what they want to do. My wife just left. I'm in here with the kids, so everything is all good.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I told him I got a headache.
I'm starting to get old, man. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really care for certain things because like you can predict the future. You go out with certain people and even your family, you love them and stuff like that, but you already know if you go out there, you can predict what's gonna happen next. So it's like you rather just stay out of it. No disrespect.
Nah, nah, that's a fact, bro. even right now, like I'm like, yo, what the hell can I like talk to you about today? Like on a random like summer August day. And then we get the Malik Beasley news. Obviously, a bunch of new assistant coaches come from the New York Knicks. Off the top of your head, how you feel about Malik Beasley? As you're talking, let me share some stats on the side.
Well, yo, Malik Beasley, I don't like him at all, man. I keep it a buck. When he went to Denver, or when he was in Denver, I wanted him on the Knicks because he was like one of those like low cost kind of guys. He always could shoot it. He could score a lot. If you do like his what is it, 40, whatever the 36-minute stats and stuff, they were always like pretty high as far as especially with the scoring and stuff. So that's somebody, and his athleticism also was pretty good, especially when he was younger. So that's somebody that always wanted underneath the radar and stuff. But nowadays, just after getting to know him and stuff, like a lot of off the court stuff that just the same thing like with family, like you can kind of predict the future when like it don't have to be negative and stuff, but I just know how my sisters are. I know how my mom is. You know what I'm saying? Or how your dad is, or your friends are. You know how it's gonna be. So sometimes you just be like, you know what, I'm not with it today. But Malik Beasley is kind of like the same thing. Like he likes to he just does a lot of immature like dickhead type of things off court and shit. So you know um that's my thing. And then just on the court too, like he has that move where he sits there and he does the drum where he's like swinging back and forth. That's him waving his dick in front of you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not with that at all. You know what I'm saying? Because if I was a player and I saw him doing that, I wouldn't think it's funny or whatever. I would immediately tackle him. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not playing that fucking dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? So he's just not my type of dude, man. You know what I'm saying? I just really don't like him.
Yo, it's funny. Malik Beasley was never on my radar. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like Malik Beasley, I wanted a guy, and I've been told you, I told a lot of Knick fans, like I've been one of the guy who myself, like playmaker, like that, and that's all I care about. Like all I care about is a playmaker. Everything else, I feel like can work itself out. All I care about is the playmaking.
Yeah.
But if you go and get a guy like Malik Beasley, obviously right here, you see he averaged 16.3 points per game, 2.6 rebounds per game, 1.7 assists per game. Last season, he shot 41.6% from three. He made 319 threes last season. That was second in the NBA. That's something that stands out a lot. Also with Malik Beasley, as you can see, the transition three-point percentage is really good at 47.7%. The step-back three-point percentage is good at 45%. Left corner three, 54%. It's at a low value now. Right corner three-point percentage at a 51.2%. Also at a low value, like he didn't shoot like the high volume like Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby did. Like it's two different kind of games. Above the break, 3-point percentage. He's at a 38.7%. And his catch and shoot 3-point percentage is at a 43.1%. So obviously he could shoot the ball. And for me, if you got another guy who could shoot the ball, you can never have enough shooters. I think like that's with any team, like you always want a lot of shooters. And he was only one of 6 players in the last decade. 16 points per game, 200 plus made threes, 82 games played. He was first on the bench in points per game last season. He was second in total 3-pointers made last season. And I believe he was first in total bench 3-pointers made last season. Also, he was the 5th ever player in NBA history to have 300 plus threes made in the season. Most ever threes made by a Piston. I'm pretty sure I said that already. And he's the only player besides Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson to have 300 plus threes made on 40% plus shooting. if there's a guy who I say, all right, you know what, Eru? All of the antics, I take all of the antics. That's the guy.
Yeah.
That's the resume I'm looking at. Right? If he got that type of resume, then hey, but I don't think the things that he's done in other places he would do here. If I felt that way, then I wouldn't want Ben Simmons here because we all know who Ben Simmons is. And I think I like Malik Beasley. You know, you get him. Now you got him. You got Jordan Clarkson. You got Brunson. You got OG. You got Mikal. You got Cat. We got shooters.
The thing is, though, like if we was to get Malik Beasley, where is he gonna play? You know, we're gonna have to put, Mikal, at small forward exclusively. And then what do we do with Beasley? Does he come off the bench or does, what's the situation with that? Who's gonna be the starter?
Shooting guard. Me.
That's me. We'll do the whole starting lineup then. So you got Brunson and Beasley in the backcourt. Who else you got?
I got Mikal, OG, Cat.
That's the start, right? All right. Yep. So I mean, that's decent. It's good. It's good on paper. We got shooters like crazy now. But then coming off the bench, who's coming off the bench? You got Josh,
Duce, Jordan Clarkson, Garrison Yabusele, Mitchell Robinson. How can we lose?
I get it, yeah. I mean, we can mix match the lineup and stuff. I get it. But I just just the off the court stuff, man, and just what he stand for. There's something like about him, man. If he comes on the team and he's like he behaves himself and he shoots the 3, as long as I don't see him shaking his thing back and forth like that after every shot, man, I can't deal with that. I can't.
Let him shake his shit, man.
I can't cheer for that though, man. You know what I'm saying? If he shoots a 3 and starts doing that, I'm not gonna go, woo, yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like
you're talking to a man who looks at Mikal Bridges and OG and say, why you don't front on nobody? That's why I think you trash anyway, because you don't be talking your ish on top of the fact that you don't show no force on the court. Right. Maybe Malik Beasley give him that extra oomph to be like, hey, yo, front on him. Yo, I can make the 3. Do it to his grill. Like, I want to see that type of play. Man, maybe that's just me.
I get it, man. But you see what Jarrell said? He says Beasley out here owing people rent and dating his ex-wife and stuff like that.
Shit, we live in New York. How many of us owe people rent?
Yeah, but I mean, he's just not a good person, man. He's something sums up with the dude. He was involved in something else too. He had like a gun charge or whatever, and then it was a bunch of other stuff too. People that are always involved in things like that, man. You just got to be careful with people like that, man. So that's why I can't really get with him coming to the Knicks, because we're trying to win a championship. So that's the last thing we need. We sign him, and then say in September or October or something comes up, or it's just gonna be like a lingering distraction in the background with that court case and shit that he has going on.
You don't think the Knicks will protect them though? Because they did the same thing for Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying? Like Kristaps Porzingis, I ain't gonna say what he was accused of, but like the Knicks, they kind of got a lot of that swept under the rug.
Yeah,
what I will say.
Yeah, I get it.
And
Yeah, we probably could do that too, but I just don't want to have to do that, because we got a good thing going. Most all the guys on the squad, we all are like family people. Their wives all hang out after, all hang out together. You know,
right, no, it's definitely true, man.
yeah, they be
Yeah,
having
but
family nights and shit.
you know what's crazy? Carl Anthony Towns, he definitely spoke about that too, like recently, like how, like, the camaraderie with the players, like we all hang out with each other. It's not separate. Like we're not away from each other. I had a 2-hour conversation with Mike Brown at dinner before I came here to this interview because he did the 7 p.m. to Brooklyn. Shouts to Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
In that podcast. And he's talking about, the camaraderie and stuff like that. And I like it, but I would like to see it on the court. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a guy like Beasley, you get a guy who shot at least 9 3-pointers last season, you're going to have to find looks for him. So, like, who's going to get those looks for him? I'm interested, though. I would love Beasley.
Yeah, I'm interested in the skill set and stuff. Yeah, so I'm looking at the highlights too. What he can create his own shot, which I love too. Because like I said, like when he played for Denver, I wanted him on the Knicks. We had a little bit of money to spend. I wanted him to come to the Knicks because he was like an up and coming guy, hungry. Right now, all you really seeing is his 3-point shot. But when he was younger, he had some hops too. He used to get on that rim, and especially on a fast break type of thing. So he got some skills to him, man. He's not a bad player, but it's just all the other intangibles that he brings.
I'm not bothered behind anything else that he brings.
Yeah.
The Knicks don't have enough controversy. I think controversy.
So you missed the controversy? You missed the
man.
Shit, man.
Like, hold on, let me remove this from the screen. The Knicks, some of their problems is they got too many clean cut guys.
Yeah.
They got too many by the book guys. Like the New York Knicks in the 70s, I'm pretty sure Will Clyde Frazier, he was pimping. He had like 3-4 joints. All right. He had a Rolls Royce back in the 70s early. Willis Reed, he had joints. He was selling bricks. You gonna tell me Dave DeBusschere wasn't passing people weed and all of that? And extra drugs on the side? Come on now.
Fantastic, man. They say he was I think he had like a side job in the off season and shit too. So these guys they were doing their thing. That Clyde shit, man. I'm quite sure like right there on 9th Avenue, he probably was like he jumped in the Benz in the fucking Rolls Royce, went 2 blocks down and was like, bitch, where's the money at? Looking a little short, man.
Bitch, you're a little short. Yeah.
I can totally see that, man. But I don't know, man.
That's a testament to Brunson, though. Shouts to JB. JB's a great leader because he's the shield for all of that nonsense. Like when you got guys who's out of line and stuff like that, Jalen Brunson is a guy who other guys will not get out of pocket with Jalen Brunson. I don't know what he does in the locker room. I guess people respect him. I think Brunson be decking people at this point because when you that short and you're around a bunch of like 6'7", 6'10", and they all respect you, in my opinion, I think you slapping somebody in the locker room. That's just me.
Yeah, the thing with Jalen Brunson is he has a big ass, cabeza. His head is freaking huge. You know what I'm saying? So if you get in a fight with Jalen Brunson, you gotta hit him with a fucking chair or something. A regular fist ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that's what it is too.
Shout out to my guy JB. Now, just getting off the Malik Beasley subject, obviously the Knicks, we would have to give him a vet minimum. A lot of teams have cap space. We're not the only team like that can get people, but a lot of teams that got cap space, like the Brooklyn Nets and other teams. Why the hell matter of fact, even before I get into Ben Simmons, Dink Pay is officially joining the New York Knicks G-League roster. Somebody that me and you
who saved his
watched,
best for last.
Me and you watched during Summer League, not just me and you, but a lot of Knicks fans. We watched him during Summer League. We're like, oh, who the hell is this kid? Like, do he got some skill? Like, what can he do? How you feel about Dink Pay joining the Knicks G-League squad, man? I felt like that was a great pickup, man. I felt like we needed that type of talent in the building.
Yeah, he's definitely dope, man. He's the youngest draft pick. You know, he was playing professional in the G League in Mexico and stuff. You know, we talked about him and stuff. You know, his measurements. The height. Everything about him. It just checks all the boxes. You know, so the one thing, as you see the 3-point shot there, his form is a little off with the 3-point shot. You know, the base. I don't like the wide stance and stuff. So the little things he can clean up. But as far as everything else is concerned, he got the full package, bro. You know what I'm saying? So. Having him in the G League is good, but I'm wondering if they will offer him like one of those two-way spots, because I think we have 3 of them. He should get that, right?
Absolutely. You can't let this talent walk out of the building. And I think that's part of the reason why the Knicks haven't gone for a guy like Ben Simmons or somebody yet. If the Knicks don't even sign Malik Beasley, and that's just for content purposes or just for news purposes, if the Knicks don't even sign a guy like Malik Beasley per se, I don't think it's a bad thing. Me personally,
yeah,
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think personally, it would be a great sign. Actually, I think that would be a sign that the New York Knicks are not going in the Thomas Thibodeau realm of developing players. And what I mean by that is, hey, I'm gonna play you 15 minutes and you're just gonna get it out the mud for those 15 minutes. I watched OKC, and something I want to throw at you and how you feel about this. OKC last season, let me see if I could pull up this tweet, by the way, just so you fans can see it. OKC last season, the boys literally had 12 players playing at least 15 minutes per game. They had at least 12 players playing 30 games last season total. So if my coach is Thibodeau, if I had 12 players playing in a season, that means that 3 or 4 players got major injuries. And there was no real major injuries with OKC. But another thing I found that was really great outside of having 12 players play at least 15 minutes per game, having 12 players play at least 16 minutes per game. The total games played was the most impressive. That was 30 games a piece, right? Minimum for at least 12 players for OKC. I want the Knicks to follow that module. I think that's a great module, me personally. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, man, you got to use your guys. You got to just play. Tom Thibodeau goes against that thing, and it's annoying too that that the fan base they just I don't know. I just don't know what it is. It's like a hive mind or something. I know Tom Thibodeau is a good coach and this, that, and the other. But if he does something wrong or whatever, and you say something, you comment about it, it's like, oh, you don't know basketball and this other stuff. They defend Tom Thibodeau to the T. But Mike Brown comes in here with the same resume, same exact resume, even more championships than Tibbs, and it's like, oh yeah, well, I gotta see what he does, or if he's doesn't do good next year, then we're gonna fire him right away. Not even considering his history or anything like that. I'm trying to pull that up now. I'm trying to pull up his minutes distributions and stuff. But I got it here, man. So same thing. He played 11 guys at least 12 minutes or whatever. 2 guys had 20. We got 20, 24, 26. 29. The highest guy might have had 35. Those are the 2 best players. 35, 35, 33. You know what I'm saying? So he does the same thing. He spreads the wealth around also as far as the thing. So that's what a good coach does. You utilize your fucking bench. I don't understand what's so hard about that. It's oh yeah, there goes the minutes police. I've never heard that in my life. Minutes police. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, people like to invent stuff just to fit what's happening now, the narrative, or or just to defend the person that they like the most. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if let's say if Mike Brown started playing guys 48 minutes a night, they'd be like, "Oh, we need to get rid of this guy. What's going on with him?" Well, literally, Tom Thibodeau just did that just now. You know, even like Scott Layden, they always talk about Isaiah Thomas, how bad Isaiah Thomas was, but Scott Layden was the one that set the table, and Scott Layden is never mentioned. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, people have a selective memory when it comes to certain things, man. So
super selective, bro. Super selective. Now, if I said anything wrong, OKC minutes module last season, 2 players averaged 30 plus minutes per game, SGA and Jalen Williams. 12 players averaged at least 16 minutes plus per game. 15 players played at least 30 plus games for the OKC Thunder, and the OKC Thunder used 30 different starting lineups last season. And also shouts to Jay Bull, shouts to the OG.
No doubt.
I guess you can read this, Ebro.
Says I got when you see a Jay Boogie post, you got to read it how Jay Boogie talks, though. You know, it's hard not to. But he goes, "Blessing, health, life, and happiness." I can't even do it. You know, shout out to the family state and the great Eru. Well, God bless, man. He says salute through capital S. Album, the KOAT, Knicks all over teams coming soon. Yeah, he got some stuff cooking in the thing, man. So we got to support. Definitely got to support Jay Boogie and stuff, man, and get that stuff played in the Garden. You know, I see, you know, that's another thing too, man. Like Jay Boogie set the table, gave them ideas, and instead of giving Jay Boogie the opportunity, they chose to go find other artists and stuff, you know, to put as the head or whatever. So it's all good, man. You know, I see the people can't fake it. Like we see what's going on. You know, we can't do nothing about it because we're not like decision makers and stuff. But I see what's going on when it comes to certain things, and I feel like people need to call shit out if they see it. You know, I'm not gonna hate on it, but yeah, I'm gonna call it out when I see it. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to J Bug.
Somebody gonna say to me, why? Oh, you're miserable when you say this, like little shit like that, like
right?
But like that's a prime example of that. Shout out to J Bug, man. Listen, J Bug, man. KOAT, Knicks over all teams. Coming soon. Shout out to J Bug. I appreciate you, J Bug, for pulling up. I'm very confident in the Knicks going into next season. The one thing that I disagree with, and I said this to my guy earlier on the Twitter space, is that Mike Brown is under the premise of championship or bust. I think that's really unfair to him as the first year head coach. I think other people on the roster, for example, like a Mikal Bridges, like a OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges got Thibodeau fired and he just got paid. My brother, we not looking at Mike Brown for your production next season. I'm looking dead at you. What are you gonna do? Right? OG Anunoby, he's getting paid. Cat, he's getting paid. Can you imagine what they said during the postseason exit interviews with James Dolan there? This guy fucking plays me too much. You know, some of them said it.
Yeah.
So like that was my answer to Nick and Nate when it came to championship or bust. It's not on my friend. I think that's a player thing and that's a Leon Rose thing. How you feel about that?
Well, you know, like the exit meetings you're talking about?
Yeah, as far as like the exit meetings and in general, like going into next season, you know, Thibodeau just been here for 5 years, right? This is Mike Brown's first season. But the expectation amongst a lot of people was championship or bust.
Right.
It's finals or bust. My rebuttal to them is this is not even Mike Brown's roster. This is his first season here. So how can I put that label onto him when this ain't his roster? Right. But that's still morally unfair because he's the coach and he signed up for this.
Right.
So
well, you know, the thing about Mike Brown is that Mike Brown, that's one of the first things he said in interviews too, is that like the pressure's on him and he came here for that. You know, he came in expecting the pressure, knowing everything that people are going to say, and he's with the smoke. You know, and I appreciate that about him too, because like he's been through all these different experiences and stuff. So like in the beginning, he kind of was like a lame duck, kind of like LeBron James coach type of thing. But then he kept kept it going. He was behind what it was he on Popovich's squad too? He was on the Golden State squad. He was behind, and learning from all these different coaches and stuff. So the proof is that he used to be like a defensive guy. He was only known for that. He was brought into a lot of teams because of the defense. But then he goes to Sacramento and they become one of the best offensive teams in the NBA. So he's one of those students of the game. And just by looking at the sound bites and how he talks and stuff, he welcomes the stuff, and he's not afraid to tell people off in the locker room too. So Tom Thibodeau used to be that guy, but Tom Thibodeau is older now. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't have the energy to be getting into no scuffles and stuff. But he used to do that. Last time he did that was in Minnesota. So Mike Brown is on that thing now. He will get into a scuffle with somebody if need be. You know what I'm saying? Not that we want that to happen, but that's the guy that I'm looking at when it comes to that. But just the expectations and stuff. Like I said, I think he welcomes it. And we all know it that it's not just a 5-year thing or championship or bust. It's just that Brunson is already in his prime. All of our guys are in their prime. All our guys have their contract. Everybody got paid. So now it's all about basketball. All the other stuff that we've been talking about, none of that matters now. Now it really is like everybody, like you said, I'm looking at you, I'm looking at you, I'm looking at you. Nobody can hide anymore. You know what I'm saying? Tom Thibodeau's not there to hide you anymore. You're there. So you gotta show and prove. Everybody got to show and prove.
Everybody. Shouts to Nostalgia Nick. It was disgusting. Oh God, I don't know if these my followers are they hate Malik Beasley.
Yeah, the ones with the chain, though, those are the guys from
they hate Malik Beasley. That's mad funny. Who's next up here? Sergeant Robert Lawrence, because he's a cancer. The streets will take over MSU. Of course, we know that. Man. The Knicks should take a look at Kai Soto, brother. We're not doing cocaine today, brother.
Yeah, you got to be careful, man. You got to give Kai Soto respect because the Philippine, massive is big, boy. You know what I'm saying? Pause.
It's shouts to the Filipino, my Filipino guys.
All you got to do is say Kai Soto's name, and then you're gonna have like 10 million subscribers out of nowhere, man. You know what I'm
saying? Nostalgia Nick, finals a bust. The Knicks need height, and Kai Soto brings that height.
See, I told you.
I don't think the Knicks need height right now. Honestly, I just think they need like a playmaker. My boldest prediction: NBA Finals champs in June 2026. This season, the Knicks will be the champ. This is a great fan, man. You sound like one of them. You remind me of one of those bots that be on my Twitter all day, man. Stay, man. Shut, man. You miserable, man.
Yeah, Nostalgia Nick was on basically everybody's YouTube chats and stuff. So he's definitely a big time YouTube supporter. So.
Nah, he be on mine too.
Yeah,
he be on mine too, man. He said championship. Let's keep scrolling down. Who else? Knicks might sign Beasley. Yeah, man. Michael Beasley is one of the reasons why we're here today. Another reason why we're here today. Why the hell? What the hell is Ben Simmons on? I'm getting to the point where it's like, bro, what are you waiting for, bro?
I don't know, because I mean, like we mentioned, a lot of people have money, so anybody could sign him. He actually played okay with the Clippers, and they had him coming off the bench and stuff. So, like if you look at highlights of how he fit in with them, they kind of have a similar team to us, where they have like a lot of decent wings, and they got Harden over there. They have similar guys that I could see the comparison. So if he came, got on our team, I can see him playing off the ball, giving Harden and these guys open looks and stuff from his actions. So I mean, it could work. But like I said, there's a lot of people with money out there. So he hasn't been signed. So it might just be the market. They're probably just waiting until the end. Or they might not even sign him.
How the hell he waiting until that?
I don't know. Yesterday's price ain't today's price. You know what I'm saying? He's not a sought after player anymore. So you got to wait for the scraps.
I'm baffled that Russell Westbrook is not on the team right now. I think that's the number one. Like,
yeah, that's a big one.
Like Russ, is there no Russ in the NBA next season? Why the hell West hasn't been signed?
It's politics too, you know. Like say, like they just what's the name just retired? John Wall. So John Wall is forced to retire, and he's gonna be doing
34
comedy.
years old.
Yeah, 34 years old, and you know, and like just up until recently, like he was still getting on the rim. He was still running up the court, still could pass, still could dribble. You know what I'm saying? So they just don't want him in the league no more. So maybe that's the point where Ben Simmons is, where like the NBA said, okay, that's the end of him. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to bring him back. You know, Westbrook might be looking at that too, where he's still on the top of his game, he still could play. You know what I'm saying? But now they're gonna do him like this at the end, where the he's not a guaranteed sign in the summer. That's weird, man. So you know, that's just the way the NBA is, man. Fucking politics. I think nostalgic said that.
I think I think it's further. I think it's beyond politics at this moment. I think it's. I don't think it's enough teams. They need to expand. Like,
Yeah,
expansion is needed in the NBA. Like
I agree with that.
a guy, it reminds me of, and I always refer back to this in my mind, is Carmelo Anthony. And I
He's
feel like
another one.
2 years of his career was taken away. It was taken away by, matter of fact, let me play something on the screen. I think I seen it on Twitter earlier too. But 2 years of his year was taken away from the Houston Rockets. But specifically when it comes to like a team like the Houston Rockets, a coach had a vendetta against Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony had him fired, I believe, during his time with the Denver Nuggets. And that same coach, he went from the Denver Nuggets to the Houston Rockets. And guess who else was on the Houston Rockets at the same time? Mike goddamn D'Antoni.
Oh.
And yeah, man. So it's like I think it was like a sabotage effort. Like
NBA is known for that. The coaching tree, you don't mess with the coaching tree, man. You talk, they all stick up for each other. So it is what it is.
And the coach I'm talking about, hold on, let me see if I could. Yeah, man. Coach I'm talking about, Nuggets head coach Jeff Bizdelic. Bizdelic? I think I got his name right. No disrespect. But, Carmelo Anthony, obviously, he got Nuggets into the playoffs. And Bizdelic, in 2004, he threatened Carmelo Anthony to be placed on the bench for lack of defensive effort. It's just 2004. Right. 2008, Bizdelic, he's the assistant coach for the Houston Rockets, right? 2018, Carmelo Anthony, he signs with the Houston Rockets. Bizdelic abruptly retires September 16th. Carmelo Anthony and Houston Rockets part ways November 15th. Bizdelic, he comes out of retirement November 23rd. Like,
wow. Yeah, it's the NBA, man. The NBA is they got their things going on. Just like, office politics, there's stuff going on in my job that I can't explain. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. It sucks. Iverson went through it. Remember, Iverson still had a couple years left in him. They refused to play him. He just couldn't play. John Wall's a big one, like I said. Derrick Rose too. I thought Derrick Rose still had some time left, and they didn't want to play him at the end.
I don't think Derrick Rose wanted to play anymore.
Well, they were giving him the runaround though. He was just on the bottom of the bench, and he could have played, but they just didn't play him when he was at Memphis.
Yeah, but Memphis, just the way that team is built, I don't need another guard like Derrick Rose. When already my main guard, he's athletic and he's short himself.
Right. Well, even when he was hurt, and suspended, they still weren't playing Derrick Rose like that. So,
oof, yeah, his time was up.
Yeah.
I
Hopefully,
think
they don't do Westbrook like that, man. That would be fucked up.
If Russell Westbrook doesn't play another NBA game, where do you rank him all time in point guards?
Oh man, he's up there, man. He averaged a triple double for what, like how many seasons? Like 3 or 4 seasons, something like that. He was the MVP of the league.
Yes,
he's been to the finals before. His numbers are crazy.
Yes,
So and then off the court too, he's always been really good off the court, never had a problem, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's up there. He's definitely up there. Some of the greatest point guards to ever play. I don't know. I don't like to do top tens and all that because when you say it, then you look at the names and be like, oh, I forgot about that guy. I forgot about that guy. But he's definitely up there as far as some of the greatest point guards to ever play.
Who you gonna forget out of Nate Tiny Archibald, Magic Johnson, Steph Curry, Jason Kidd? I mean, and we just talking top 10, like in no order.
Right.
John Stockton. Okay, that's 5.
Yeah.
You still have like J.K.
Yeah, J.K. Steve Nash, Magic, you said, right? Oscar Robertson, Isaiah Thomas.
I didn't say Oscar Robertson. I didn't say Isaiah Thomas.
Gary Payton's up there too, as far as point guards.
Russell Westbrook better than Gary Payton, in my opinion, all the time.
So if you're looking at it like that, I don't know. If you're looking at it like that, then he's got to be like somewhere around floating the top 10. You got Rondos out there, the Rondos of the world. Yeah, it could be like
Russ is better. Russ is better than Rondo all the time.
Yeah, so you're definitely looking at top 10, something like that.
Tony Parker, of course.
Yeah. Tony Parker as far as championships and stuff.
But he was great though.
Yeah, he was good. Did you see what this guy said about him? What's my man from up from the Smoke guys? What's his name?
He don't like he hates Tony Parker. Hold on, let me see if I can pull that up, yo.
What's his money's name? I can't forget his name. Yeah, Jackson, Captain Jack. Yeah, so Steven Jackson, he don't like Tony Parker because he was the most selfish player that he ever played with. I believe it. I believe it. He did come here with a chip on his shoulder, dude from France. He did have family in the United States though. I think his dad still lived in the States or something like that. Somebody lived in the States where he used to come back. That's why he could speak English so well and that type of thing. Yeah, but they say he was probably like the most selfish person that he ever played with.
Yeah, I believe it. I gotta see if I can find that one. He was adamant about it too, and it's not the first time. Like,
yeah, when Steven Jackson get up out of his seat and he starts talking like that, then that shit is you're not playing with that.
What do you think was selfish though?
What's up?
What do you think was selfish though? Like,
well, selfish, like it's all about him type of thing. Like everything had to go through him. I get it. But like watching the game, like the San Antonio was such a well-oiled machine that you didn't notice it, I guess, but Tony Parker did have the ball a lot in the offense, so as a point guard, you want the ball in your hands, you know what I'm saying? So he did have the ball in his hands a lot, running around. He used to run around circles around the paint and stuff. So, they
Tony Parker.
Yeah. He was good.
It's not funny he say that, bro, because I know the type of person Tony is. You know what I'm saying? Great player, gonna go down in the Hall of Fame, but he's very selfish. He's been selfish. We would have had more championships and more success if it wasn't for him being so selfish. But he was told as a 16, 17-year-old in France that he was this. He come to the NBA, start as a 19-year-old, and you know what I'm saying? But he had a rude awakening because once we got to the playoffs, it was Stephon Marbury. It was Jason Kidd. He couldn't handle him, so we had to pay Speedy Claxton. So I know the real Tony. You know what I'm saying? He can fool everybody else, but he is one of the most selfish players I've ever played with. And that ain't got nothing to do with what he's saying. This is what I'm saying. He's one of the most selfish players I've ever played with, bro, because it's all about him. And I don't know how he made it in that system so long. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a system for everybody. They want everybody to
shine.
Yeah, it's everybody to shine. But at the same time, I don't know how he made it that long because Ginobili was totally different. As far as a teammate, that's definitely one of the best teammates I've ever had in my life.
I love Manu.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Even looking at Manu from TV screen, you could tell Manu was a cool ass teammate.
Yeah. He gave up a lot of his career for the NBA, man, because like he could have started on any team in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? People look at him like they used to call him Balky from Perfect Strangers and shit. He looked crazy. He looked like he drive a cab or he like has like a one of those freaking gyro stands in the city or whatever. He looked like one of them cats, but that motherfucker could put 30 on you in no time, man. Next thing you know, you turn your head, and next thing you know, he's on the rim on you. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to him. He was one of the baddest boys out there.
True. Yo, Ginobili, top 5 international player of all time, easily.
Yeah,
one of the best shooting guards like I've ever seen in my life, like personally. Yeah. Ginobili's cold, man. I wish, like, he's one of those players I wish I could put on the Knicks right now.
His handle was crazy too, man. He had a crazy crossover. He had the Euro step, of course. They talk about the Euro step, but he had everything, man. He'll snatch behind you, go between the legs on you, pull up, banging him right on you. He was nasty, bro.
Yeah. I hope Jordan Clarkson could play a little, like, give us some type of production like that.
Not for nothing. Jordan Clarkson is nice, bro. You look at his highlights, he got a lot of moves, man. He's mad talented.
Yeah, man.
He got some moves, man. I don't know if you could pull up highlights of him, man, but him, changing direction and moving his body, he's dope, man. He got a lot of moves.
Well, let me see if I got some.
I still think he kind of like lost a step in his older age, man, but he got a lot of creativity in his dribble, man. That dude could play.
Shout out to my guy Jordan Clarkson, man. Definitely got some.
That's the recent one.
It's Donovan right now.
Yeah, that's Donovan.
What's up? Donovan. They only got Donovan?
Well, they got one where it's all him, just
Donovan could go to hell, man. Donovan, you go to hell. Because Donovan is the same bastard who he's funny. Like, first of all, we all knew, like, he wanted to be a Knick, period. Like, everybody knew that. And he just then put the knife in a jugular the way he was supposed to, man.
Well, according to him, though, he thought that he was traded to the Knicks. He was already prepared to go, but then something else happened. That wasn't able to happen. But, I found a clip, by the way. Let me see if I can share it. But, yeah, he thought he was going to be a Knick, but then it just, something else happened and just weren't able to do it. Let me see if I can get this. There you go. All right, so it's you can share it from the thing at the bottom.
Yeah, man. Jody.
Yeah,
Jody got some moves too, man. He a ball hog, though.
Yeah, he held the ball a little bit too much. I'll tell you one thing, man. You better hold on to your chick with him, boy. That motherfucker look like he just like a habitual girl snatcher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Handsome motherfucker.
Yeah, handsome ass motherfucker, man.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, you see, man, he got a lot of little moves, man. He got counters upon counters upon counters,
Yeah, that's a fact. Ambidextrous, could use both hands. Got some beat bop boot to his game. Shouts to Paris Duggar.
Yeah.
What's up, fellas? Blessings, man. Shouts to you, bro.
Yeah, no doubt, Paris.
Shouts to Tough Love, man. See you up there, brother. Yeah, Jordy got some moves, man. Jordy not whack, bro.
Yeah.
Jordy is not whack. It's my only thing about Jordan Clarkson specifically is I'm not asking him to help anybody else out get any type of shots, bro. If you're a Knick fan and you're gonna be looking for me to ask Jordan Clarkson, hey, Jordan Clarkson, I want you to make for others. Don't look for me to ask him that because that's not his game. And I never want to ask Jordan Clarkson to do something that he was never required to do. I think that's outside of his game, especially at his late age. Like was Jordan Clarkson like 33?
Yeah, he's up there in age now.
Damn, there's a lot of older hoopers now.
But he got the handles though. So I mean, like currently we really don't have a backup point guard. According to the people that are like projected to be in the rotation. So I still don't look at Duce as a guy that can handle the ball. I don't like his decision making and stuff. Whenever he gets the ball, it's almost like everything stops. So he like needs a guy, to play off of. Like he plays good off of Josh Hart, but Josh Hart, you don't really want him as your primary ball handler either. But Josh Hart could take the duties. You know what I'm saying? So, Malik Beasley would definitely help out with that if he was to sign him. Same thing with Ben Simmons would definitely help out. But Jordan Clarkson is going to do a lot of ball handling. Point of attack. He's going to be the guy that's looking to score. But he can get around, so he can find do those open shots that he likes. Those mid range shots and stuff. So he'll be able to help out that way. But as far as like you said, as far as I want you to be the point guard and get other people shots. That's not really his game. You're not going to do well with him like that.
No, hell no. I never want to ask. Yeah, I never want to ask him to play make for anybody else.
Yeah,
I think that's. I think you take away from him when you do shit like that. Trying to tell him like, yo, hey, yo, Jordan Clarkson, I want you to make sure you get Mitchell Robinson 5 shots when you on the court with him. No.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
I think that's been the problem, the last 5 years with Tom Thibodeau, is that he's been making people do things that they weren't required to do their whole career. You know what I'm saying? So guys have been asked to do extra shit. You know what I'm saying? So now, guys really have established their positions and whatever. So, I think Mike Brown will probably put people in more traditional spots, like take advantage of what guys do good. Don't force them to do stuff they've never done. I think that puts us in a hole when you do that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And just real quick, like just looking at our schedule, honestly, let me make sure I share this with you. Just looking at our schedule for next season. Like early November, bro. Early November, bro. Heavy Eastern Conference schedule. Early November. Bulls, Wizards, Nets, Magic, Heat. We got the Mavericks in there, but we got the Magic again. Nets, Hornets, Bucks. And after the Bucks, I believe we got Toronto Raptors. We got the Raptors. Yep. Yes, we do. And I don't think it's going to be absolute trash.
But if we're for real, like say if this is like championship or bust type of thing, I think coming out the gate, since most of the guys played with each other, and then like Mike Brown is not really going to change so much of the offense where they're going to be confused, where there'll be a growing pains type of thing. I think he'll definitely put his little stuff in there to smooth things out. So I think that smooth thing that he puts in there, I'm hoping at least that whatever Mike Brown adds to this thing, I think it's just going to be so. I think the team is gonna come together so crazy that I think we're gonna probably wipe the floor with half of these teams that we start the season off. At least that's what I'm hoping. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. Because November, you start up with a lot of Eastern Conference teams. I believe that's like 12 Eastern Conference teams you play in November.
Yeah.
So you got if you get off to a good start, that means that going into December. Right? In January, let me make sure I put it up here on the screen. From December 2nd to December 7th, it's only one away game for the New York Knicks. So if you go out, you handle business early in the Eastern Conference. You go into December, you got a lot of home games. And then on top of the fact that one away game is versus the Boston Celtics, we probably beat the hell out of that one away game. But what I'm getting at is the NBA Cup starts December 9th. I believe.
Yeah.
Cup game. So if you survive the month of December, right, you already got the early lead in the Eastern Conference, and now you got mad home games in December. Now you sitting pretty.
Right.
You sitting pretty. Now I'm going into January, bro.
Yeah, I see you got the West Coast teams popping up. But at that point, I think after the first 2 months where it's relatively not easy but is in our favor, by the time we get to this West Coast trip, I think that we'll have the kinks or whatever out so crazy that at least this is all hope that by January that we'll be ready for this little stretch.
Now that's a fact. I mean, even in January, you see right here, Clippers, Suns, Trailblazers, Sacramento Kings, Golden State Warriors. We got 4 straight away games, all Western Conference teams. right? You got the Phoenix Suns, you got the Dallas Mavericks. So that's from January 7th to January 19th. What I'm getting at is in November, once again, so we got mad Eastern Conference teams in November. It's a bunch of them. Yeah. January, we got mad Western Conference teams. So if we already got the lead in the Eastern Conference, January, let's just say something bad happens and we don't come out of January with a sub 500 record or we got a 500 record, we're fine.
Right.
Because we're on that long West Coast swing. It's majority West Coast teams. We just got to get through that gauntlet. And we've been beating out a lot of Western Conference teams.
Yeah, last couple of years, definitely.
Last couple of years.
You know, I can argue sometimes that we play better on the road, man. You know, I can argue sometimes.
I definitely agree. Especially, it was one game. I think it was Denver. I could think on the top of the dome. Well, I thought they was going to beat the hell out of us, and we went over there and we beat the hell out of them. And it wasn't just it was a like, oh, snaps. I didn't know we were going to beat them like that.
Yeah. But, you know, the Knicks had that in them, but it's just that, you know, the way that we approached the game on offense and defense kind of was holding us back a little bit. So that's the hope. You're hoping that when Mike Brown comes in here, that he figures out whatever defensive issues that we have. You know, he figures it out how to fix that. You know, and then like just as far as manufacturing points, where in the beginning of the game we're playing team ball, looks so good, and then the fourth quarter comes, and then the ball stop moving, everybody's standing on the side, and just Brunson going one-on-one. So I think to me, it doesn't seem like something that's so hard to do. So I think, you know, Mike Brown's been watching from afar. He sees it, you know, just judging by what he was saying in interviews and stuff. I think he already has an idea of what he wants to do, you know, but he said he needs to sit down with his coaching staff, and then they'll sit there and, you know, just how we talking, you know what I'm saying? I'm expecting the coaching staff to get into the room similar to the one that you're in right now and just fucking just go at it. Just go at it. I think this, I think that, this is what we should do, and then really get crazy. Like, nah, man, I'm trying to tell you that, like that. And those are those conversations that you need to have in order to get teams where they need to go. So I think we're gonna be good, man. I really do. I really think we're gonna fix all that stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy because I put out like a couple of tweets. I definitely got a Substack coming on like individually the players that Mike Brown got in his rotation this season, coming back from last season. Like, what can he help these players with? And like the one common denominator I found, like I'll give you a prime example. I got Josh Hart right here. So let me just bring this up. Hold on, I'm sorry. NBA schedule. Let's move off of that real quick. Let me put this Josh Hart to right here. So a guy, let me put this on the screen for you Knick fans. So a guy that's very interesting to me is Josh Hart. And, you know, I write a tweet. I say, yo, what can Mike Brown help Josh Hart, man? Right? How can he make Josh Hart a better player? And
so I got to say, though, all the stuff that you're posting, this is from your account, man. So, you know, people say that you don't know what you're talking about, this and other, but meanwhile, they ignore these posts. You know what I'm saying? That you post here. So these are really good. So go ahead, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I don't give a shit about that shit. It's like you can do the research for yourself, right? Everything literally I posted, you can literally go look for yourself. It's literally easy. It's just a matter of you wanting to post it.
These are good though. These are definitely good. These little tidbits and stuff, man.
You know what I'm saying? It just take a little time, man. It just, if I say something about a player, I want to make sure that I'm being specific on what can the coach help him with. I want to put numbers behind it. For example, in the playoffs, Josh Hart, he's 42.2%, 44.2% on catch and shoot threes in the playoffs. Last season, in the regular season, he was 33.3%. That's horrible. Left corner three, he was shooting 28.6% from three. Right corner three, he was shooting 32.3%. That's odd to me. It's odd to me because if you got this man who is shooting horrible from the corners, Thibodeau, what are you doing to make this man better? Okay. And I scroll down, the points per possession. I'm like, oh, okay. Josh Hart, he's good on handles, right? Points per possession, scoring efficiency per play, right? Love the frequency, by the way, as well. So when I'm looking at a guy like Josh Hart, and I know that his corner threes is ass. So where do I want to use him in? I want him in dribble handles. He's great in it. 1.29 points per possession, right? He's great in cut to the basket. 1.26. Anything above a 1.0, Eru, that's great.
Right.
Anything above 1. And we know he's good in transition. The numbers show it, right? It's 1.15. That's great as well. But what Josh Hart stinks at, and what a lot of the Knick players stink at, the isolation, points per possession, right? 0.95. Eru, I can't tell you how many times we ran ISO last year. That's the coach, just not putting players in positions to succeed. And I think some of the things that Mike Brown can help Josh Hart in, specifically being a pick and roll ball handler, right? The ISO efficiency, right? Turning his jumpers. Now, Josh Hart was great in mid-range jumpers, right? He shot 46% on mid-range jumpers last season. So he was very good in mid-range jumpers. Another player that was good on mid-range jumpers is Duce McBride. Another player is Jalen Brunson. And you got Mikal Bridges, who's also great on mid-range jumpers. OG stinks at mid-range jumpers. Karl-Anthony Towns stinks at mid-range jumpers. So, I get it. Mike Brown can help a lot of our players, bro. He can help a lot of our players, bro. What would you do with Josh Hart specifically? Because Josh Hart, he's like the guy. He's the guy that he's the guy like that bothers me the most, because yes, you want to play him off the bench, but we don't know if his 3-point shot is going to be there. And then you want to start him, but at the same time, you can't start him because we've seen a large sample size of it. What would you do with Josh Hart?
Well, you got the right idea there, man. Like the numbers tell you everything. Like Tom Thibodeau says, yeah, I'm a big numbers guy. The bullshit, man, because the numbers right there in your face says don't do this, and you do it constantly. Even in the playoffs when that center, on the Celtics, whatever he was getting caught one-on-one with him at the end of every play, and he kept blocking his shot and stuff. So Tom Thibodeau never did anything to fix those type of things, but it's so simple to get certain players out of these spots, man. Like, what is the coaching staff doing? What are these guys talking about in the film room and stuff? So, I think Mike Brown ends that, man, because just off his personality alone, he's going to be confrontational in there, where he's going to be calling people out, and there's going to be an energy where like, yeah, man, tell me what's up. So let's have this conversation. So, that's why I wouldn't have Josh Hart standing in the corner knowing that he shoots 20 something. I wouldn't be trying to make him go in a situation where the ball is in his hands and now he has to create a shot when we know he can't. So stop putting these guys in those spots, man. It'll make no sense to me. So that's what I would do. And it just goes down the line. Like Josh Hart is almost unstoppable going to the basket,
Yes.
cutting to the basket. So why don't we have him cutting to the basket? I just don't get it. It's just weird. And then people like the fans too, they see it, they see him constantly shooting these 3-point shots, and all they got to say is like, oh, Josh Hart need to get his jump shot better, or this, that, and the other. He need to shoot the way that he was shooting in November. You know what I'm saying? He was shooting well at a certain part of time, because that's what players do. They might catch a hot streak, but then he comes back to earth and starts shooting his normal percentage. So people say, oh, he needs to get into the gym and start practicing his jump shot. Oh, he got to believe in his shot and this and that. Oh, shoot the ball, whatever. But that's not what he wants to do, and that's not his game. So why are we forcing guys to do that stuff? That's a major issue.
Yo, hated it, bro. Another example. OG Anunoby, my man, Paper Man. Shouts to Paper Man. What I find interesting with Paper Man, the cuts.
Yeah.
1.43. He's elite. Transition, just like Josh Hart. It's it's the same profile for every single Knick player, bro. Look at his isolation, bro. 0.83.
Nasty.
Look what Tibbs had this man running the whole time. And then was really aggravating when it came to OG, right? Josh Hart, he got excellent mid-range numbers. OG stinks in the mid-range. Mid-range jump shot, 36.1%. Fadeaway percentage, 30%. Ew. Pull-up percentage, 39.3%. Ew. Turnaround jumper percentage, 31.6. Ew.
Yo, and how many times does he get caught in those fadeaways? Every time you look around, he gets caught in a fadeaway, or step back, or turnaround jump shot to nowhere. But people say, yo, finally, Jalen Brunson's not playing. Oh, but look at OG all of a sudden going crazy. So we need to trade Brunson now. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell are we talking about? Like, everybody that plays basketball knows what it's like to be in the zone. You could be in the zone for a little while, but you ain't really like that, you know, and it comes back to normal, you know, when the time comes, you know. So it is whatever.
And it's crazy because a guy like OG, and I said it myself, I'm like, OG could be an all-star or he could be an all-NBA defensive player. Do you think he got a chance to be a first-time all-star this upcoming season?
OG?
Yes.
It's possible because, you know, like you pointed out with the schedule, I think our schedule, you know, is going to really help us out too. So, you know, it happens, you know, but like once everybody gets to where they're supposed to be, then OG will he'll get back to his 14 points per game. Mikal Bridges will get back to his 14 points per game. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Brunson will get down a little bit. You know, the everything will be back to where it's supposed to be. So, you know, like we want OG coming down on the cuts, you know, backdoor stuff. We want those actions to happen. The Princeton offense, that's what Mike is going to be running. We're going to be doing a lot of this running around and cutting to the basket, you know, coming around screens and cutting that way. So there's going to be a lot of those little things. So I think guys will be more successful doing what they do, but it just won't be no extra stuff, you know, that pad stats and, you know, a lot of things too that has to do with their scoring. You know, last year it had to do with minutes also. Guys are playing more minutes than they usually play. So that's why the numbers were kind of like up there, you know. So, you know, I just think we're going to play better basketball. It's just going to look better night in and night out, you know?
Yes, I definitely agree. If OG Anunoby's averaging 14 points next season, that MF better be the All-NBA defensive leader candidate, and he better be in by far the runaway leader for the Defensive Player of the Year award winner.
Oh man, at least being like the first team. Did he even make a defensive team last year?
He ain't make nothing last year. He just got paid. He just paid. Scored 8 points, 5 points, 2 points, first Boston in the playoffs. He's just paid. I need way more from him. But speaking about players that we need way more from, another guy that, you know, I feel like Mike Brown can help, Mikal Bridges, right? And we also got one of Mikal Bridges' ex-coaches who, I think it was Ricardo Fios. He was also a coach on the Phoenix Suns, who was with Mikal Bridges the year that they went to the finals. But Mikal Bridges, brother, why is the ISO points per position? Every single Knick I came across this stat with, all of them is horrible. Look, it's ISO 0.74. The man is worse than Duce McBride, I believe. He stinks at ISO. Can't get his own shot. Only 1.4 free throw attempts in 38 minutes per game. That stinks.
That's wow.
That's horrible. You had an 18.6 usage rate under Tibbs. It's kind of misused. He had a 114.6 defensive rating last season. That's terrible for a player of his standards. He don't set no screens. He don't stand out. I don't think he meshed with Tibbs. But the one thing you love about Mikal, Hero, it's coming up. You go this way, cousin. You go either way. It doesn't matter. What's the one thing that stands out each time? What's the one thing that stands each time, Hero? The roll man with him, it stands out, right? It's at a 1.21. The ball handler stands out. It's at a 1 point PPP. All screen stands out. but the man is horrible in ISO. I want to unlock more off-ball movement from Mikal. And another thing, too, that I would like to show you, Hero, before you go, let's make this a little bigger for a lot of you Knick fans. His shot breakdown, right? Profile, shot zone breakdown profile. Effective field goal percentage. Obviously, you Knick fans can see it on the screen. But other scoring areas. On cuts to the rim, 84.1%. You need to cut.
It's crazy.
You need to cut the bar. You need to cut. You need to cut. Another thing, 51.1% from the field. And he was 77.3% in transition, Eagle. Oh my God. What can Mike Brown do for Mikal Bridges?
We got to push the ball. That's it says right there. Mike Brown said that he likes to walk. He likes to run. So that's the main thing. I think that's like the first thing he said. He likes to play fast. So playing fast, that's gonna be right up the alley for Mikal, like we're talking about. OG also, Josh Hart plays good fast. All these guys, even guys like Cat, transition threes and stuff like that. If you look at the numbers or whatever, he wants to get these transition threes and these type of things. So everything that Mike's saying on on all these interviews and stuff, and just judging by what he's done in Sacramento as a head coach, coach of the year. I think all these things that he's been saying, these little tidbits, all fit what we're trying to do. And if I want to add this too, Mike Brown has talked a lot about Mikal, talked a lot about OG specifically too. He wanted OG on the team when it was time to trade and stuff. He tried to get him on Sacramento or whatever, but it just didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? So he's looked at these guys from afar and isolated them as guys that would be great for what he's trying to do. So I think that's another main reason why he came to the Knicks too, because we have wings that are gonna that in his mind as a coach, you can see players that you like outside of basketball and other coaches stuff. If I look on a court, there's a certain style of play that I just love to see play. So when I see guys doing that, like if I'm watching a tournament and stuff like that, I'm more intrigued because I'm looking for that point guard that can dribble, that can get to the basket or whatever. I'm looking for defense. You know what I'm saying? Looking for those type of things, who can shoot, who can cut, all that type of stuff. So, that's my personal thing. But every coach has that. So I think him from afar, looking at the Knicks, just sees like a kid in the candy store. So I think he's gonna get us all right. I'm it's more hope than anything, because people say stuff as if like it's gonna happen, but it's really just you just talking. Speaking of, let me leave that alone. But I mean, I was gonna say some shit. But like people will say like the opinion.
No. What you about to say? Go ahead.
Well, like certain sports writers, they'll say, "Oh, a sports writer said this," like, "Oh," and then everybody makes a comment, "Yo, the sports writer said this." So but he said it as an opinion. He didn't say it as a fact. You know what I'm saying? So what's the difference between what a sports writer says and what I say? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like, the hell with that. But I was trying not to go on a tangent. But anyway, I already talked enough already, man. But I just think that Mike is definitely gonna get everybody in the right spot. Definitely.
It's crazy because now that this came across my screen, shout out to my guy Duce McBride. Love Duce McBride. I just want to put these stats up on the screen for all these Knick fans to see. Love Duce McBride. Great shooting numbers, by the way. Duce McBride has turned himself, and these are his shooting numbers and the areas. These are some of the best areas for Duce McBride. So if you see it got a red circle, the ball is hot from that area. If you see it got a red circle, so let me make sure that your Knick fans see all the areas. The ball is hot from a lot of these areas, right? Bank shots, 67.7%. Cuts to the rim, 55.6%, right? Mid-range jumpers, 45.4% at a 34.8 frequency rate.
Damn.
Pull up mid-range jumpers, 47.2%. Transition points per possession, right? 1.13. That's great. Spot up, 1.06. Pick and roll ball handler. This is what's 1.29. So if he's in a pick and roll, he go a little he get around him, he might score the basket.
I don't know
right?
about beep bop boop, but he'll get to that spot and he'll hit that jump shot. Though I agree with you.
And that's where the next thing comes in, right, Euro? Because as you notice, the guys who we don't think, I always say, the guys I don't think, and possibly you can think the same thing. So I don't want people to attack you all. You say this isolation. It's a 0.62. No beep bop boop. Yeah. There's no beep bop boop. Nobody with beep bop boop got under 1.0 points per possession when it comes to isolation. And look at the frequency. 3%. So he don't run that a lot. But the thing you want Duce to be great at, the all-ball screens, bro. That's a 0.85 points per possession. That's horrible. Yeah. The floating game. You a small guard. You need the floater game. You 21.4% from the field. You stink. You're not bending the defense. Like, we know you can shoot the midi, but if they cut off that midi, your floater game trash. You don't have no counter for it. And
they turn him around a lot, right? And when he drives, he gets stuck and turns around a lot.
Yes. When he gets turned around, pause, it's nothing you can do. And then on drive, that was crazy. Yeah.
Oh man, we gotta grow up. New Yorkers gotta grow up, man.
One of the last things when it came to Duce McBride, the drives, like 36.2% field goal percentage on drives, right? On cuts though, he's 50+% from the field, but on drives, when he got the ball in his hands and he's going to the rim, he's horrible. That coincides with what, Eru? The eye test. He can't dribble the goddamn basketball. Obviously, he can shoot the ball, but you know what you think Mike Brown can help Duce McBride with? And I put a little paragraph there. Obviously, people can see it, but what you think Mike Brown can help Duce with?
He's got to keep him off the ball. He can't be on the ball. Everything says that he shouldn't be on the ball. You know what I'm saying? You can't put him in a position where he's going to be stuck, trying to dribble. He's not the greatest passer either. He's not and people will say too, when Brunson was out, like Duce McBride did this, but we also got smacked that first game. That one of the games that he scored a lot in that game. We didn't win that game. You know what I'm saying? And then he didn't, he just can't create at all, for other people or for himself. He plays much better once somebody else takes the handling from him, and then he can play off of that. So if we can see that, and the numbers are saying that, then Mike Brown has got to see it. I'm hoping, we're hoping that we don't just keep repeating stuff that we obviously seen for 5 years. You know what I'm saying? And then no changes made in 5 years. So I'm hoping that that's over with, and then we can just progress as a basketball team. So that's what I'm hoping. Let me ask you something about Duce, man. What the hell is up with that dude? Like, everybody loves him. Like, he's like the worst player in the room. Every time they show like an NBA thing or whatever, they'd be like, oh, here goes Kevin Durant, or here goes this top player, and Duce McBride is here. Like, what is Duce McBride doing in the room with these guys? Like, he keeps getting invited to all these events. What is that about?
How can I put this? It's a new day and age, and Bobby Jackson would have got treated the same way if he was in today's NBA.
Bobby Jackson was better than Duce, I think.
Yeah, but this is Bobby Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's what I think. And also, I think like Duce McBride, just I think he has a great agent, by the way. I think his agent is amazing. Like, obviously, you need good representation for people to just talk about you in this totality that way.
Yeah.
But I also think Duce McBride is just I think he's like a decent person, like human being, honestly.
Yeah, I think so too.
But
I think people just like him. They keep inviting him, So.
Hey, I can't get mad at that, bro. What I can't get mad at is his bitch ass. Excuse my language, but him and Josh Hart playing like absolute dog shit versus Indiana Pacers. That's something I can't forget.
Yeah, he disappeared big time. Even Detroit too. Detroit series, Duce looked real. I didn't even remember seeing him in Detroit.
Oh, he was terrible in the Detroit series. But remember the Detroit series, he was Schroeder, like if Duce was money a little bit in the Boston series.
Yeah.
The Boston series, he was all right. But those other two series,
Yeah. It all comes down to matchups. He just matches up so much better against Boston compared to the other two teams.
That's definitely a fact. Let's get to a guy who Ebro hates so much. He hates this man so much. Oh my God. Yeah. So but I got Mitchell Robinson, man. If Mitchell Robinson starts at center next season, minimum, I'm looking for like an all-star trip or something. Minimum. Maybe I'm being unfair. Okay. But you got Ben Wallace here. And this is defensive-minded first-time all-star centers. And I think Mike Brown could help Mitchell Robinson a lot, especially if Mitchell Robinson got a post game now. Sometimes you take years to learn it, and then you got to actually take years of what you learn off the court. What I mean by off the court, off the professional basketball court when it's a real game, and you're on a practice court and shit like that, and you got to implement that into a real game. So some of the defensive-minded first-time NBA centers. You got Ben Wallace here, right? 7 points per game, 15 rebounds. If Mitchell Robinson can give me 13 rebounds per game in 28 minutes, it's possible. That's with me. 2.2 blocks per game, right? Pistons. You got the Dikembe Mutombo in 1992. He was 9 points per game, 13 rebounds, 4.5 blocks. Mark Eden, 1984, 4 points per game. I rounded off. 10 rebounds, 5.6 blocks. Mark Eden. Oh my God. Then you got Tyson Chandler, DeAndre Jordan, Jarrett Allen, Rudy Gobert. What can Mike Brown do for Mitchell Robinson that'll make you satisfied with Mitchell Robinson?
Well, everything having to do with Mitchell Robinson is all Mitchell Robinson's fault, So, like JaVale McGee, he was shacked in a fool for years, man, but he got some championships though. He's playing on some really good teams. The thing with a guy like JaVale McGee is that like you're not expecting him to become Hakeem Olajuwon, but if the ball comes to him and there's an opportunity for him to get the ball, to score or whatever, he needs to at least be able to do that. I'm not talking about make a move. I'm just talking about he gets the ball in the spot, take a dribble and lay it up. Turn around, hook it in, and throw it in. Simple stuff. Not asking him to be Patrick Ewing here. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the only thing that I'm worried about when it comes to Mitchell Robinson. But he's a liability out there. If every time he goes for a rebound and he goes back up, he's just looking to dunk it back up. He's not looking to lay it up. He's not looking to turn and maybe get a layup on the opposite side or anything like that. He's just looking to get the ball and force a dunk every single time. And then he gets to the free throw line and he pisses away every free throw attempt that he's ever shot up until this point. You know what I'm saying? So working on his game. I see him posting videos and people making comments and stuff. But it's like how many years now? 7. It's gonna be his 7th year or 8th year now coming into the NBA, whatever it is. So it takes you 8 years to learn basic math. Like making a layup. Being able to just at least have a pulse on offense and where you can contribute. Like say like a Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace only averaged 6. I saw 6 points on the screen when you showed it. Mark Eaton wasn't a scorer, but Mark Eaton is a deep cut though. From the 80s. Mark Eaton. He used to block.
Yeah, Mark Eaton is that's like stepped on cocaine right there. That's like way back in the day. Like you don't even see that no more.
Yeah, he was like a freaking like Frankenstein monster. He was a scary dude, man. But if he got the ball on the inside, he could make a play, at least. You know what I'm saying? It's not just him trying to make a just force a dunk or something like that. He can make a play. He could turn around and do a hook shot one time. Most of the time he didn't have to do that because you got Carmelo, getting most of the touches and stuff. But you got to at least be a pulse in that respect. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not like I mentioned JaVale McGee specifically because nobody thinks of JaVale McGee as being any kind of offensive talent. But in the offseason, he worked with Hakeem on finishing the footwork and stuff. So just in the opportunity in those little minutes that he does get, if he gets the opportunity, let's say if they need Mitch, we need Mitch to give us some energy minutes. So we're running, we doing our thing. If Mitch gets the ball and let's say like he gets the rebound, turns around and just lays it up, it's like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Those little things help us out as when a run is happening. But it doesn't help us when, say, somebody misses it. Yeah, he get the offensive rebound, but then he's coming out looking to give somebody else the ball. A lot of times the shot is his. He's the one that should be able to put it back. You know, that those are the little plays like that it just to have the option to do it is what prolongs these runs and stuff. You know, it doesn't put the pressure on like a JB gotta score 40 tonight in the fourth quarter alone just for us to win the game. When Mitchell Robinson, all he had to do was just simply turn around and lay it up. You know, one good time just to keep the run going. So that's what all I'm asking for. Thing. So I mean, you ask what can Mike Brown do for him? So Mike Brown, you know, Mike Brown, Mike Brown is not going to have him put him in a spot where he's going to have him doing something he shouldn't be doing. But you know, he's just got everything with Mitchell Robinson. He's got to figure it out on his own. That's the only thing I got to say about that. You know.
Yeah, shout out to Money Making Mitch, man. Hope he has a great season next season. And one of the guys who's brought in tax that helped Mitchell Robinson, our very own Chris Jen. Eru, you want to hear something from Chris Jen real quick?
Yeah, I like Chris Jen. I think he's dope.
All right, so now we want corner threes as well. So now you're patient at the rim. So as this basketball gets moved up the floor, it's hit, and now I'm pinning in. He's patient. We get our corner three. And we'll get down to the breakdown. It could be a pin in. It could be a circle cut. So I've got the 5-man's position. 2 is down the floor. You're just behind me, 5. So rather than me pinning, I go to step to pin. Go ahead, like I'm going to screen for you, and I'm a face cut. All right? Or we're same size players, and now you set the back screen for me. I'm down the floor, and you're a pop. So all these things we would break down, obviously individual. We're just going through a bunch of stuff. But the concept being in this action, are we occupying all 5 defenders at the same time?
Man, I love it. I love it, bro.
Yo, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I love it too, bro. Well, tell Nick fans your reason why. I tell him my reason why. I think we probably got like total different reasons why, but like that clip got me giddy about the next week. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, like say in the Tom Thibodeau's offense, right? Like whenever Mitchell Robinson set a screen, he never touched anybody. He would just stand there and then he would just cut down to the basket, wait for the offensive rebound. That does not do him a service. You're not including him in what's happening. That's why Mitchell Robinson every once in a while used to have these little comments and stuff about, I'm just out there getting cardio and stuff like that. No, man, you got to get guys involved. So like the last part that he talked about, where he said, I'm the big man, so I'll set the screen, let the guy come and get the pick and pop. So it's almost like an assist, a great screen to get a shooter open and he knocks down the 3. That's almost like an assist for a big man. Then the opposite play too is like you set the screen and then it could be an action where, let's say, if the defense gets confused a little bit, now you could pop inside to get your little shot. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe even you end up with the ball, like he said, and then now you have the option to make a play yourself. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes the options are there and for a guy, but he doesn't know how to do it. Mitchell Robinson never gave him the authority to make a move. You know, like every time Mitchell Robinson did do a move that we've seen throughout his career, it's always been like a eye opening, like, whoa, did you see what Mitch did? What, that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So like if we can get something going, let's say like, if he just caught in a motion where he's supposed to set a screen, the defense breaks it up, he ends up with the ball. Now he knows that he can get to a spot and make a move. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm that excites me. Listening to the coaches talk, man. You know, making just keeping guys all involved. That's the main thing there. You muted yourself, man.
I think about every time when it comes to Mitchell Robinson, and hopefully I can find it next week. Before we get out of here, shout out to the 300 Knick fans are saying, appreciate you guys. I think about Dirk Nowitzki and Tyson Chandler, bro. Those are the 2 guys. I mean, you bring in a guy like Chris Jen, born in Sparta, New Jersey, Ohio State alumni, 10-year pro career, Rockets, Knicks, Rapid City, Columbus, CBA, Australia, Italy, Spain, Greece, right? He's been in the NBA since 2003. Vet. He's been with the Sixers, Orlando Magic, Johnny Davis, the Cleveland Cavaliers with Mike Brown. Relationships is key, right? He was also with Mike Malone, 2013 to 2015. He won a championship with Bakersfield Jam. He was the head coach. He was with the Hawks from 2017 to 2022. He was an assistant. Then he was with the Los Angeles Lakers, 2022 to 2024. He was with the Hornets last year, 2024 to 2025. Now he's with the New York Knicks. I love that.
He won a summer championship too, right? Christian, did he win the summer championship?
I think he did. I'm not going to say yes out the gate. And then people be like, yo, State, you was lying, man.
Yeah.
You lying, man. We going to have to we gonna have to Google that, yo.
Yeah.
State, you was lying, man. Another guy who was who was hired to the Knicks coaching staff. Let me make sure I get my guy here. And let's pause this. Add it to the stage. Our guy, the Paisan, shout out to Ricardo Fios. He's also joining the New York Knicks staff. He played at Pepperdine, University of Arizona, pro career in Italy, the Italy under 16 national team, grad assistant for Pepperdine, Gonzaga 2015 to 2019, analytics and player developmental department for the Suns. And I said this earlier when it came to Mikal Bridges, right? Yeah. It's all about relationships, baby. The Suns, he was the player developmental coach under Monty Williams. He helped Mikal Bridges develop something that I need to see personally. He also, was a developmental guy at Arizona. He helped develop Benedict Mather, Italy coach for Eurobasket, 2017, 2022. 2023, he coached the FIBA World Cup, and he was a Kings assistant under Mike Brown in 2024. Love it, bro. Love it, bro.
I love to hear people talking ball, man, talking basketball. I love to see guys breaking plays down. I love that shit, man. Because I mean, watching the game, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a different type of movements and stuff, man. So when I see teams playing good ball in general, man, it's just it's almost. I can't even explain it, bro. It's almost like having a good drink or just like smoking weed or something like that. Where when that high hits you, man, that's what watching good basketball like that feels like to me, man.
And it's crazy because our next guy, shouts to the other assistant coach that we got. But since you want to hear a coach talking basketball, shouts to TJ Saint. He's also another coach. Recently joined the New York Knicks. He led the Pelicans G-League team, Birmingham Squadron. Sound like Squadron Supreme from DC Comics. I don't know why that's the first thing that comes to mind, but whatever. Number one offense in 2023-2024. He was the head coach of the Squadron since 2022. He started in 2019 for the Erie Bayhawks. He was promoted to associate head coach in 2020. Pistons, head video coordinator and player developmental coach, right? Helped end a 7-year playoff drought in 2016. Shouts to K coming in. K, you got one of your guys in the building, bro, just to make sure we got one of your guys in the building. Georgia, right? The director of basketball strategy. He also was at Butler. Director of Ops, graduate assistant under Brad Stevens. Team went 49-24, reached the 2013 NCAA round of 32. He was also at Belmont, 2009 to 2011, student assistant, part of the 2011 NCAA tournament team. He was also a former Division I player at Mercer, holds a BA in marketing from Belmont 2010, and a master's from Butler in 2013. Very intelligent, but that's not the part. That's not the reason why I brought my guy Ewu here. Let me make this.
I'm so glad you highlighted that.
Let me make this a little bigger, right? Let's hear one of our assistant coaches, Ewu, if you don't mind. You said you wanted to hear some basketball, so I'm doing it. I'm doing this for you in the chat real quick, man. When I listen to this personally, I say, "Oh, all right, let's do some hoops a little bit." He teaching me a little bit, but let's tune in. Shout out to our guy TJ Saint.
No doubt. Yep. Very simple. So moving on to start in transition, I'll just let this play. We called it Top Gun. And the reason I called it Top Gun is all the guys play Call of Duty. And we went through all their different things, which weapon they like to use the most. So each guy had some similar, but their top gun, whichever they wanted to use. And this is what we wanted to use in our offense, is the top gun would be our transition, right? We don't want to play in half court too much. And this is a concept I know you and I talked about back in the Detroit Windsor days, is the transition 2-side concept. Anytime you're pushing on one side, if we can try to skip it across the court, it's very difficult for teams to guard both guys on the opposite. So something we worked on early, you see it here, transition 2-side, that shot's open, another swing can be open. And then these were quick strikes. So after a make, we don't necessarily need to call anything depending on how it is. We want to look for a quick strike first. So ball goes in, we'd work on this, quick strikes before the defense is set. Because again, this goes back into being the most ready team. Right? We talk about it on defense a lot, but we wanted to be the most ready on offense and do these quick strikes.
The 2-side is a foundational thing that, you and I helped shape for each other way back when. And I just want to really emphasize that quick strike concept. We call them clapbacks. It's what's your response. And it's the most important part of really being a good transition team, isn't it? It's like you get scored on, you didn't get scored. It doesn't matter. We're quick striking back. We're clapping back at them. And that's such a foundational thing.
Just to add to that, how many times have we got clapped on after we messed up?
Like, you make a shot,
all day long.
Relax.
You want to know what's so crazy, bro? As he's talking, I'm thinking about how many times like we did not advance the basketball.
Yeah,
like little simple shit like that. We didn't advance the basketball. Like look. Oh my goodness. Like,
yeah, but just on defense too. Like we run a stupid play, and then everything that you see here, you see Indiana doing that to us. That's how we lost. We lost to them because we just could not stop them when like you were saying, the clapback offense. We could not find anybody, and they were just killing us. Everybody was shooting threes on us and on that team.
No consistent stops. You want to hear a little more?
Oh, it's on you.
Let's play a little more. Shouts out, guys. Let's start from a different section and see what explain that for my new head coach. Shouts to TJ Saint.
Again, we didn't try to emphasize too many things and keep it very simple. Shot, go, swing. And you see that here on it. They drill it, or we drilled it.
It's a simple basketball.
Worked fairly well. Moving into the drive system of the fingerprint, and I just mentioned this, a go catch or a stampede, you want to actually be going before you catch it. So then the drive is very difficult to guard. Again, worked on this in PD. This was another sticky word. It's a little bit different than stampede, which a lot of people use. Just trying to ingrain that into people's minds.
Can you talk about stampede a little bit more? The nuances of it, I think, are what people struggle with when we talk about it. What is different from a stampede versus just a catch and go sort of situation? And particularly around, where do you like players to space themselves so they have space for speed to be able to go?
Yep, great question. If there's a 4-point line, I know some people put that on their court. The Pelicans actually have it. We didn't have it in our practice facility, but we wanted them to space out if there were a 4-point line. Mm-hmm. And the stampede, which is different than just catching it, is you're taking 1 or 2 steps as the ball is moving towards you, right? And so you're already on the go as the closeout is happening. You're actually going in the opposite direction.
We were getting that done to us.
Makes it very difficult.
The Celtics, number one, they would do that.
Is there a teaching point on the dribble in that case? Because a lot of coaches, especially a lot of high school coaches that I've talked to about this, they tend to think it's a travel. So how do you emphasize them getting the ball forward?
We really didn't talk much about that. We didn't see a lot of travels on that. Not as much about the dribble, but this next concept is, instead of the dribble, we wanted their body to be confrontational. So like the straightest distance or quickest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So in your drive system, you're fighting for your straight line at all times. And instead of going around your defender, we want to go past them and try to make that line as straight as possible. But you have to do that by being confrontational with your drive. So if you see that here, we really wanted to be the first point of contact with the defender. As he's driving here, we want to make it as possible a straight line as we can. So right there, boom, we want to make contact and make it a straight line. We call them confrontational drive.
The only person that really does that
just let me go there for a second.
Cat
does that. You want to know what's so crazy? I was thinking about the person on the Knicks defense who does that. Like literally force everybody to the middle.
Yeah. He on the drive, cat goes right through the person. He knifes right past him and goes right to the basket. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is though, like once you have these movements, there has to be counters to it. The Knicks don't have no counters to nothing under Tom Thibodeau. So that's the issue. When like every the way they're breaking down plays, coaches do this. This is what they do. This is what basketball players do. They watch film and they break down plays and stuff. But I feel like the Knicks never had a counter to anything that we ever did. And then I felt like we never had like just plays that they're not necessarily plays, but they're concepts that we have to run as we're playing basketball. Like if I'm bringing the ball up the court, I already know what I'm supposed to be doing. Like I'm coming up. If I'm on the left side, like we train it so much that if I'm on the left side, you got the ball on the right side, like they were explaining. Like I'm gonna run to a certain spot and I'm expecting the ball. I'm expecting it at some point. Once I see the defensive shift, I know the ball's not gonna come to me this play. I know the ball's gonna go to the other side. So if the ball goes to the other side, now there's something I'm supposed to automatically do. You know what I'm saying? This is organized basketball. We're not playing in the street. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have these concepts going that you can just get these chippy points on, and playing fast the way that Mike Brown wants to do. We should be having a lot of these little conversations where we're gonna be manufacturing offense. This seems like we don't know what we're doing, but it's like an organized confusion kind of thing. So I'm hoping that's what we get. Under Mike Brown.
I strongly agree, bro. Y'all strongly agree, bro. It's the concepts, bro. I'm dying to see a box and one defense, a 2-3 zone, a 3-2 zone. Like I'm dying for it.
Like what like the stopping the three, right? Would you think that would help stopping the three?
I think a whole new system would help stop the three.
Yeah.
Tibbs ran so much drop back coverage. I don't even think he used OG Anunoby correctly, to be honest with you. OG Anunoby averaged 0.9 blocks per game last year, 1.5 steals. He could easily average 1 block, 1 steal, all NBA defensive first if he just used him correctly. I don't need to see OG on every Pascal Siakam on the planet. I want to see him switching on everything. I want to see him at the point of attack. Oh, all right. Yo, OG, switch. Whoever's behind you, switch. Don't matter who it is. If it's Carl Town, switch anyway. Don't matter.
Yeah.
I want to see stuff like that. Like, use them. You know what I'm saying? I hated the way we use some of our players the past few years.
Yeah, definitely. Like the arguments too. Like I never seen OG get mad at anybody ever. You know what I'm saying? How many times this season did you see him on the bench like getting upset about certain?
One time. He bought that cat, but his bitch ass wasn't playing defense neither.
Right.
That game. So
it was the philosophy that Tibbs had at the time. Like he wasn't doing his job. So now it made everybody look crazy. You know what I'm saying? So that causes arguments. So how you eliminate that is you stop putting guys in positions to fail. Like you want Cat to do something he's gonna fail at every time. So you don't put him in those positions anymore. You have to put guys in this position where they're their strengths. I don't. One thing I don't like either is like trying to hide Brunson on defense or hide certain people on defense all the time. Like, because let's say if you take OG is guarding the power forward, right? But now you got to take OG off of him to make him guard the point guard. So who's guarding the power forward now? You're expecting somebody that can't guard power forwards to guard the power forward because you're so worried about Brunson on defense. That can't happen. Let Brunson guard his man, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then you build off of that. You can't like just do that. And I think Tom Thibodeau automatically, as soon as we started, automatically put us at a disadvantage in that way. That he had other guys stressing out now. Like every time the ball comes up, I gotta on defense, I gotta run to go find the guy that Tibbs got me guarding. Meanwhile, but I'm in position to do something else. But now I gotta run and get my assignment now. I think that kills us every night too.
It destroyed us, bro. Did we talk about quality details of what Mike Brown could make him better at?
No.
I don't think we did. But off the top of my dome, the two things that stood out to me when it came to Cat, he averaged 0.6 blocks last season. He also had a defensive field goal percentage north of 50. Anytime I see a center with a defensive field goal percentage north of 50, That's horrible. You stink on defense, bro. So, like, I need him to get better at that. Also, another stat with Karl-Anthony Towns, his isolation, points per possession, that's also under 1. You know, I don't want him on ball. He stinks at that. I want him cutting, and I want him spotting up. But what would you do with Cat? Like, how would you run Cat? Would you run him like Sabonis? Like with the whole DHO, we're just gonna DHO you to death, dribble handoff. We're gonna have Mikal coming on dribble handoffs all day. We're gonna treat him like bread. Brunson, you in the corner, you may come around the screen. Like, how would you treat Cat next season? Because you know the defense stinks, playmaking stinks. Right, I'm glad the camera's on me right now. Playmaking stinks, the defense stinks.
Shout out to the cameraman, right?
Shout out to the cameraman, the AI cameraman, and if it was one more thing that I didn't like about, I didn't feel like teams feared him enough.
Yeah,
he's not scary, you know.
They had Nembhard guarding him in the playoffs, you know, and he couldn't get past Nembhard. Nembhard was guarding the shit out of him. He couldn't do nothing with it. So, but that comes down to putting guys in positions that they never were in. You know what I'm saying? It's so bad that the Indiana said, you know what, let's put Nembhard on him and let's put all our best defenders, you know, and stress everybody else out and let give Cat Nembhard, you know. So I mean that's a major problem there. So it comes down to putting Cat in positions that he's always been successful. When he first got here, he was playing. I was like, yo, this guy has scored 50 points in a game before. I'd never see. I like. How you watching him play and you're like, how did he ever get that much points in the game? But then as we get to know him and stuff, we see where he's successful. He can get 60. He's gotten 60 or close to it or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? So like now I get it. You know, so you cannot put him in positions that he's never been in because there's a whole history of his career where he played a certain way. Now you can't all of a sudden make him play a different way. So like him and Sabonis is one of the best passing bigs in the league. So you don't put him in a Sabonis position per se. You know what I'm saying? Cat could pass the ball too, but you can't have him in the same spot passing the ball. You got to have him in his areas where he could be successful in. So, you know, like I said, they do a lot of back screens, a lot of rolling around and stuff. So maybe that might be beneficial to Cat. You know, Cat would be fading a lot, you know. So I mean, you know, I think that he would be in a better position now on the Mike Brown, you know.
No, I definitely agree. The points per possession is really great. This Cat is elite from everywhere, bro. The cutting percentage, that's his highest. 1.38 points per possession, but only at a 5.9%. That's offensive scheme, right? The putback, obviously, you know, putbacks, everybody can be good on putbacks if you rebound a lot. But the spot up percentage, right? 1.25, roll man, 1.25, transition, 1.21, handoff, 1.06, off screen, 1.05, post up, 1.0. The Eero, what you think he's horrible at? The same shit.
Isolation and handling, you know, but how often is Cat caught in isolation? You know, how often is he caught like trying to dribble and stuff? You know, like two of his best plays against what was it, Detroit when he won that game? He had to actually put the ball on the floor and make an amazing shot. You know what I'm saying? Another one he isolated where he had to turn around and throw a rainbow mid-range jump shot. You know, he had to pull a shot out of his ass. Those are shots that you don't want him to take, but he was stuck in that position because of what Tom Thibodeau did to him, and he had to pull it out of his ass. You know, so that is what it is there. So, you know, I see you got these stats you put up here are great. You know, I'm hoping people are following you at least and can see this, man, because this is exactly all these little points here point in the direction that the team should go. You know,
and look at Karl-Anthony Towns. His fadeaway, jumpers, hook shots. Hold on, let me make sure Knick fans. Hold on, let me make this a little bigger so Knick fans can see it. And I definitely want Eero to elaborate on this. His fadeaway is 26.2%. Jumpers, mid-range jumpers, 38%. His hook shots, though, 54.3%. Right?
Yeah.
Yo, what do you think we need from Cat, man? And also, shots to Knick fans. I also put like a little nice paragraph talking about it. But let me go help my little cousin in front real quick. I'm coming right now, yo. With that young boy. well, not even young. It's Yabusele is kind of old. But I'm like, yo, let me see what Yabusele can do. And Iru, he flat-footed as hell. If you looking for a block stop, don't look for it from Yabusele, man. I'm telling you that right now, the Knick fan. Don't look for him blocking shots. Don't look for that spectacular like. Don't look for none of that. Don't look for none of that. But it roll me down real quick, man.
I got you. So Yabusele, I'm just looking up. One thing he's going to bring is energy. He's going to bring a lot of energy, 3-point shooting and stuff like that. He's going to bring that as well. But I'm trying to see his stats. Getting his stats here. If you look at his early stats, he played for Boston. That was a couple years ago. He was not the same player that he is now. Playing internationally, he brought he just learned a lot of leadership and stuff like that, playing with his countrymen and stuff. So he brought a little bit of that to Philly, but Philly had a bad season last year. They had a lot of injuries and stuff. So Yabusele was caught in a lot of bad situations. He also was hurt himself a lot. You know what I'm saying? End up starting 43 games out of 70 total. But I'm looking at the 11 points per game, rebounding 5.6. That's one thing too. 27 minutes per game, 5.6. He's already one of our best rebounders out there. So he's definitely gonna have that going for him. The passing too. He's a functional passer. Two assists per game in 27 minutes. That's a functional passer. He's not gonna really break too many games doing that. But like I said, he functional pass within the offense. The 38% from threes is going to be great too at the power forward. They got him listed as center. He's not a center, man. I mean, the guy is like 6 foot. How tall is this guy? He's 6'8", man. So I mean, that's today's NBA. But they got guys 6'8" running the center. If you do that, it's going to be a small ball situation, But I do anticipate seeing Cat and Garcon out there together. I anticipate him seeing Mitch and Garcon out there, just out of necessity, keeping the toughness and strength out there. So you're definitely going to use that. Since we're talking about Garcon, there's a guy on that Mike Brown had on his teams that's going to be in that role that Garcon is in, which is Trey Lyles. Trey Lyles was their backup backup power forward, played about 20 minutes per game. Off the bench, gave you 4 rebounds, the same 1.2 assists. This is less minutes, 20 minutes, talking about 7 minutes less than what Garcon had there. I'm looking at stats on the side here. Well, he did take it off, so I can actually show you what I'm looking at. So these are the stats I'm looking at, guys, for those that are taking a look. Oh, he has to be the one to post it up, put it on there. So let me get rid of that. So State has to be the one to actually post it on the screen. So anyway, Trey Lyles, the 3-point shooting averaged 38% from the three, just like we're predicting Garcon is going to do. Like I said, the 4-point-something rebounds in 20 minutes. I figure he'll probably get about 20 minutes, playing behind guys like Cat and stuff like that. So I anticipate him doing the same thing. So the reason why I bring him up is that Mike Brown is probably going to put him in the same role. So if we could look at clips of Mike Brown's offense, you'll see where Trey Lyles is at. That's where Garcon is going to help us out. I think Garcon is actually, I ain't gonna say he's better, you know what I'm saying, but he's definitely a lot more physical than Trey Lyles. But offensive, how he fits in their offense, I think he's gonna fit seamlessly, and he's gonna be very important because Trey Lyles, not for nothing, when they had their little when guys get hurt, but guys don't get hurt. I'm looking at it now. The guys don't really get hurt in Sacramento that much. Their starters when they play. Harrison Barnes at the time, he played 82 games. You got Sabonis played 82 games, so these are their big men, so Garcon is definitely going to fit in right there with our guys, you know what I'm saying? So it's good. Like just looking at, if I see he just put it up there. If you're looking at it, like you're looking at if you want to compare teams, De'Aaron Fox is right there with Brunson. You got Sabonis right there. Let's say with Cat if you want to. Keegan Murray and Harrison Barnes is right there with OG and Mikal. Malik Monk. You can throw in what's his name? Jordan Clarkson in that role, Malik Monk role. So I mean, a lot of similarities between the team that Mike Brown coached, man. But I feel like the players that we have on our roster are better. So I think we'll be fine, man.
It was reported that Mike Brown he had a hots for OG Anunoby. That was reported. Like he really wanted OG Anunoby on the roster, and it's funny like how he got OG Anunoby.
Yeah,
and he got Yeah, like, it's very interesting. So I'm really curious to see like what he does with those two. Because I'm loudest about those two on the roster the most. When you got a wing tandem and your wing tandem is making more than $300 million combined, one of the motherfuckers need to be an all-star, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro. They get a little too much Doritos for mine, man. A little too much Doritos for mine, man. They get a little too. So
That's a lot of bread, man. 39 million a year. You know, that's for OG. And then Mikal just signed that thing, so he'll be making about 30 something million.
ooh, they get that paper, baby. They get that paper.
And they didn't make no defensive team or nothing like that too. So I mean, that looks crazy.
They just head playing, man. And the one of the main excuses, Tony always giving this bum ass excuse. I always turn my phone to minimum when he giving this bum ass excuse. Go ahead and say, yo, that's the market. That's the market. That's the market decides. The market decides the pay.
Yeah,
okay, so the market family pack of hamburger meat for $20. Motherfucker, you don't see me going hamburger meat every time I go to the supermarket.
Yo, talk about the market. Yo, I was working at 86th Street the other day, and we went in the store just to get like a bacon, egg, and cheese or whatever. Guys talking about $8.99 for a bacon, egg, and cheese, you know, and then like a freaking what's the drink called? The prime drinks. The motherfucker was talking about $6.99 for a little 20-ounce prime drink. You know, so what the hell? You coming out of there spending damn near $20 on a sandwich, on a roll, and a drink? So the market, right? The market is, as soon as I find out the price, I say, yo, man, you can keep that sandwich, stick it up your ass, motherfucker. I'm gonna get on the train and take it 2 stops up to like 110th Street, 3 stops up to 110th Street and get it for the price it's supposed to be. You know?
Yes. Everywhere is getting expensive.
Yeah.
That's why my expectations when it comes to like guys like Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby, that's why my expectations for them is just so high now. Shit is just too damn expensive. I gotta pay. And mind you, like my nephew, he's in pre-K now. So like now I'm getting a taste of like shit just not gonna be the same cost no more. Yeah. Every time I go pick them up, it's $20 minimum.
Right.
And it's not because I want to spend $20. I'm hungry. Hey, let me get this before I go upstairs. Let me get this. Before it used to be $5. 3 years ago, it's $5. Now it went up to 10. Now it's up to 20. I don't want to see what it come up to when you turn 8. And I got my own child at the same damn time. It's going to be 100 now.
Yeah, it goes quick. Yo, this weekend, I'm off this weekend. The kids are like, yo, can we go to this? I'm like, yo, man, we ain't doing shit. How about that? Go in that room over there that you got the light on. I told you to turn the light off. Go in the room and go play with the shit you got in there. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're going to do today. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all don't give a fuck about lights and stuff. We paying a light bill in this motherfucker, and you got the lights running. Ain't nobody back there, bro. You know what I'm saying? So go back there and enjoy the light that you wasting. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to, guess what? We're going to do it tomorrow too. You know what I'm saying? I got 2 little boys, you know?
Oh, God. I'll play light, by the way, man. Thanks, God. I play light, by the way.
Oh, man.
If I pay light, they'd have threw my ass out already. Shit.
For real. They're talking about they want to go to Dave & Buster or they want to go to bouncy houses and shit like that. Straight out the door, $150. You know, and
easy.
Yeah, if I forget to put gas in the car before we went out, now we're talking about $200, just on a day trip. And they're gonna be like, oh, I'm bored now after they finish. Now I gotta spend more money. Get your ass out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Did you count food into that?
Yeah, that's all of the two. That's what the two say. As soon as we get in Dave & Buster, depending on what day, now you're talking about like $70 in there. You know what I'm saying?
80. That's 80 off rip. As soon as you walk in, 80.
Yeah, because like, oh, we got to get some water. I forgot to pack water. We got to go buy some water. Like, oh my God, little things like that add up. Before you know it, you just spend $200 and like, what the hell? oh, we're gonna go to Five Below after this. Like, what the fuck? Like golly, man. It's crazy. So I mean, this weekend we're gonna get to know each other. This weekend,
we all gonna be in the fucking house together.
Yeah, we're gonna get to know each other this weekend. But just like we telling this story just to parallel the salaries. So I mean, like OG pay, that I don't want to blow it up either, man. But OG makes $39 million a year. Can we find somebody similar to him that doesn't make 39? We probably could. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I mean, if you look at the paper, like OG didn't make the all defensive team. But maybe we can get one of those guys that were on the teams. They make way less money than OG makes. You know what I'm saying? That does what he's supposed to do. Same thing with Mikal. So I don't know, man.
It's put up or shut up now.
Enough for nothing. Down in the future, like you talking about guys. What's the second round pick that we got? Everybody seems to like him. But what position does he play?
Power forward.
Yeah, man. So the OG already got somebody breathing down his neck.
OG is small forward to me though. I still feel like he's playing out of position. That's just me personally.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Like OG is like he's a small forward. Like everything you want a small forward to be. Like I feel like OG's that. Definitely. He's a prototypical small forward. Like Mikal Bridges, he's another prototypical. Like he's a small forward to me as well. It's just we just got them both on the same goddamn team, so we gotta find a way to like mesh them together.
Yeah.
At this moment in time, no Bodega. I don't want Malik Monk. You're giving me another short guard for me to lose my goddamn mind.
But in comparison, though, like Malik Monk is 19 million, and we paid how much for Mikal? 30. He's making 30 plus. Mm-hmm. Could we have got Monk instead? Or like Duce McBride. Well, like you say, Duce McBride, people love him so much. Would you have just let Duce McBride take on the spot and not signed Mikal Bridges and just let guys get into the spot like that?
It depends on who you draft. It's at that point, like you because you gotta think about it too. Like it is today's CBA. Today's CBA, you are required to. And shout out to everybody who's tuning in. If you watching, I got my Resident Evil playing in the back on the TV. That's straight me on Twitch, whatever. But like for a guy like Calm, OG, Mitch, Mikal, shit, that's on coaching, bro. That's coaching now that I think about it. That's straight like coaching. They're gonna have to coach them up to do that. Especially Mikal Bridges. They're gonna have to coach them up to do that. In my opinion.
Yeah.
But I like OG too, man. I think he's a nice small forward, bro.
He's good.
If you got a great beep bop booper,
we in a funny time now too, because there's not really a real power forward out there, really. We had one, Julius Randle, probably like the second, for either first or not first, but the top 5 power forwards. But after Julius is a big cutoff as far as guys that do what they do, the rebound, scoring, rebound, scoring the way that they do.
I think today's power forwards is like centers. Like Evan Mobley needs to play the center. Like he's not.
Evan Mobley.
Like I love Evan Mobley. I don't love him next to Jared Allen. Like I think that's a stupid pairing. That's just me personally. Like the power forwards of today's centers. Like back in like Paolo Banchero to me is a small forward. He's not a power forward. Like I think playing him at power forward is stupid. But you got Franz Wagner. He plays small forward. So you got to play Franz power forward. Like, and I don't think he's a power forward.
Well, in today's league, though, the way the power forwards play, that's the today's league power forward. Where they're really small forwards, but They can rebound. They could do everything. They could be point guard for Christ's sake. Like like Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is a power forward today, but he's really a small forward as well. But he does rebound well for the position because of what's happening in today's league now. So I just think that's the way that goes there. So there's the point I'm making is there's nobody really like that outside. Most people will put Julius maybe top 5, maybe a little bit less. But Julius is probably the last one that people are going to mention when it comes to guys that could put the ball on the floor, pass the ball, score a lot, and rebound. You know what I'm saying? That mixture there. There's not many in the league. So once you get like top 5 or maybe even 7, stretch it to 7 or something like that. Now the rest of the league, there's nobody else on that level throughout the league. If you look around, most of them are just small forwards masquerading as power forwards. Like even Siakam is listed as a power forward nowadays, but he's really a small forward. He plays small forward when they well, he did play kind of power forward also too, but I mean that's still the same transition. I'm thinking about Toronto. He was basically playing power forward there too with Kawhi. They got Kawhi playing power forward in the Clippers too. So the whole league is all screwed up when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Clippers. The Clippers did find Collins. That is his name, Collins. The guy Collins that they got him from Utah. So I think he's going to do a good job, to get Kawhi off of the power forward spot. Make somebody in there that can play power forward. He can rebound, score a little bit, can shoot the 3. But he got the toughness and stuff to actually rebound up at the position. I'm looking at the stats too. That OG's only averaging like 4 rebounds per game, and he's done that throughout his career. So like you can't ask him to to rebound. Get 7 rebounds for you. God forbid get 10. He has done it. But you're asking him to do something so great for him to get 10, for OG to get 10 or more, 15 rebounds say in one game. That's literally like 5 times more than he's done in his career. What is it? 4, 8, 12. You're talking about 3 times, maybe even 4 times the amount of rebounds that he normally gets in the game. So it's like, you're asking a lot from guys. So that's not really Mike Brown's problem because he's inheriting that. So it would be interesting to see what he does with the roster. Is Karl Anthony Towns going to be the starter at power forward with Mitchell Robinson? Is that the route he's going to go? We mentioned Garçon. Will Garçon be that guy? Will he get into the starting lineup? That's possible too, man. So it really depends on what Mike Brown and his coaching staff decides. So just right off paper, like if Garçon starts over certain people are going to be really pissed. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if Garçon and OG together at the forward spots, you're not going to be bad. Especially with Cat there. If you have Cat starting at center with Garçon and OG at the forwards, I think you'll be fine. Back up, you got Brunson, and if you decide to put Mikal Bridges at the 2, I think that's a solid starting lineup. But then you still have whatever players that you took out of the starting lineup, you'll have them off the bench, and you can still work the same 9-man rotation with the guys that we currently have there. So, no matter what Mike Brown does as far as that, it's going to be fine. But it all comes down to what we do offensively. So I mentioned the Princeton offense. So I mean, people would just have to look up the Princeton offense and just get familiar with the different actions that happens in these offenses or whatever. If you look at what Golden State is doing, Golden State is essentially doing that. This guy Green, he's averaged a lot of assists for them on their squad. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of their actions, like I always keep saying, I'll keep going around. They'll start to play where they have a screen, and then they'll have, instead of coming out for the 3-point line or possibly sagging low, that he comes around the screen, comes around tight, and goes right down the lane. So we're gonna have a lot of actions in that way where guys are making that little tight cut and they're going straight to the basket. Putting pressure on the defense. Once you put that pressure, you have to stop the ball or they're going to score. So if you don't stop the ball, then like I said, it's going to score. But if you do stop the ball, the options are to pass it out. And you're going to have 4 shots at that point. Once you have the guy come around the screen and cut down, now you're going to have the screener going to go out. The guy, there's already somebody sagging at the top. He's going to go for the 3. Then you got the corners. So that's why Golden State was killing us, because they had they had Curry standing in the corner, they had Klay Thompson on the other corner, and then they had various other shooters on their squad too. So that's why Golden State won so much, is because you got Draymond Green coming around that little screen and everybody spreading out for the shots. It's like, what the hell are you going to do? But how are you going to stop that? You know what I'm saying? So I'm anxious to see how the Knicks implement, this new system in here, because I'm expecting right off the bat not to do the same thing that we've been doing. That's one thing for certain, man. I'm expecting the Knicks not to play how we've been playing. Brunson, of course, we want to see him be off the ball, but I don't think that's really the correct wording. You know what I'm saying? We want him to be off the ball at times, let other people get the ball to start offense. But it's the actions that we see happening on the court. That's what we really need to see change, because the ball dominant Jalen Brunson, the way that he played, is going to be necessary. That's his game. We're gonna have to have him do that. But the same way that Curry is successful at the point guard, he never is always the point of attack. A lot of times, he'll have his times where he's going one-on-one and shooting, off of one-on-one situations. But a lot of times, Curry was getting the ball, in the corner, catching it, faking it, sliding to the side, going around the screen and shooting, these actions like that to get his jump shot off. You know what I'm saying? So, hopefully that, once things get situated and we get the system going, that Brunson can get those opportunities the same way Curry did. And, not for nothing, like I said, Mike Brown was on that staff there, so he understood how to get Curry free in the offense, and still keep everybody else satisfied too. So I just think that we're in a great situation. A lot of arguments about Johnny Bryant and various other young coaches and stuff that we were talking about. The Knicks were getting a lot of flack for interviewing a lot of people, but when it comes down to it now, the experienced coach Mike Brown, I just think what the experience that he's had in modern basketball, winning championships recently, the way the game is played now, I just think that it all makes a lot more sense now. With that we signed Mike Brown to this contract, man. So I just think that we'll be fine with the current personnel that we have. People say that we need shooters and stuff like that, but you go down the line, Karl Anthony Towns, OG, Jalen, Mikal, Josh, Duce, all these guys can shoot the fucking three, and Garcon and Jordan Clarkson. So I think we're good, man. Nostalgic. We'll see. That's the bottom line with that. Yeah.
Yo, I got a tweet. I don't even feel like looking for that tweet. I got a tweet. Literally every single player on the New York Knicks, catch and shoot three alone, everybody's above 36%, bro. Only two people I think below 35% from last season from the rotation. Bacom Daddier, surprising, interesting, and Josh Hart. Everybody else can shoot the motherfucking three. They catch and shoot, bro. Everybody else catch and shoot, bro. I blame it systematically. Tibbs failed these guys after a while. That's what I put it on. And I have almost confidence for the Knicks going into next season, but I'm looking at players and I'm looking at Leon Rose. How you guys going to navigate? Because y'all need to help Mike Brown. The hell with Mike Brown helping you, motherfucker? Eru, I'm not here to say, hey, yo, Eru. Yo, I want Mike Brown to help Karl Anthony Towns defend better. That sounds crazy. That motherfucker need to come in next season and want to defend.
You got to be open-minded to the new philosophies too,
Yeah.
And then also too, like if you're getting roasted, man, and you're getting roasted, you got to tell somebody something. Yo, these guys are cooking me. I'm getting cooked out there. Y'all leaving me out there and I'm getting destroyed. So you got to give your input. Say, listen, man, every time we run something like this, I end up getting cooked, bro. So what can we do not to get in that situation? I
ain't gonna lie to you. I want to hear my big man in the circle and the huddle like, y'all get cooked. One of y'all can switch off with me. I will look at my big man. Bitch, you 7 foot tall.
That's probably what OG was complaining about. I said, man, you complaining about some shit, man. You 7 feet tall, bro. Shit is crazy. But not for nothing. It happens on every court. Like somebody, you could be out there playing, you got your 5, you call next, whatever. You don't know these people. But all I know is that this guy is getting cooked. But yo, man, switch that shit, man. Yo.
Switch that shit, bro.
Yeah, switch it, man. That motherfucker is cooking you.
I don't want my big pointing that out though.
Yeah, I feel you.
I rather my point guard pointed out, like, yo, they cooking my boy, yo. You switch off, G.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
As a big, like I give an example. And that's why, like what you just said, it's kind of BS a little bit. Imagine Patrick Ewing. He in the huddle. Oh, he put on my state glasses. Patrick Ewing in the huddle. He looks at Charles Oakley. He's like, yo, y'all get cooked, bro. Yo, you gotta help me out, bro. Charles Oakley. They might have fought in the huddle.
But you know those guys, all those guys are men, so you know they was having those conversations though. You know what I'm saying?
but when I say those conversations though, if my business, if I'm getting cooked and I'm the big man, I can't go to my perimeter players and say, yo, look, yo, I'm getting some play, my G. Cause one of you motherfuckers help me. I don't think that correlates. That is me, man.
I feel you.
You're big soft. I'm faking, motherfucker.
I see Nostalgic said that JB was a little bit unplayable during the playoffs. I'm not really too sure about that, you know.
Who was unplayable in the playoffs?
I said Brunson defensively he's talking about.
Oh, that's poppycock nonsense, man.
But yo, if like you need JB to play over 30-something minutes, you know what I'm saying? Look at State. State is working. You know, shout out to State's family business there. It's a liquor store, you know, it's off of 110th. I believe that's I forgot what street it is there. But support the business, man. It's a former Black Ink. That's where Black Ink used to be. You know, so it's actually in a very famous corner too. Outside of Black Ink, historically, the area over there is extremely, historic for in Harlem.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Martin Luther King projects.
Yeah, you might see fucking Jim Jones around the corner.
That's a thing. I was surprised I ain't bumping him yet. He usually outside. It's a Kingdom game going on right now too.
Yeah,
that's what's so funny. Shout out to Jim Jones and Harlem and everybody.
Yeah.
Like tunes in. But a recession is coming though. A recession is coming.
You said a recession is coming?
Yeah. It's on its way. Like it's coming. Like you can see it through. You know how you can tell. I said to my uncle, I think it was yesterday or the day before. I said, "Yo, Popeye's mad expensive." You know, it's certain places you walk into on a regular, and you get certain food, and you want to get the food and shit like that. And he's like, "Yeah, nephew, Popeyes is getting expensive." I'm like, "Yo, they asked me for $15 for a shrimp box."
Yeah,
that shit used to be $7.99. I said, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, I feel like that should happen out of nowhere. Like after, I guess when COVID must have messed that up. It's just all the prices went crazy after COVID. Because I remember, like we work, like say I'm working with my group of guys, whatever. They say, "Yo, I'm about to go to say the Burger King or some shit. I'm gonna go to Burger King quick." "Oh, yo, give me a number 2." All right. So, "Yo, how much it cost?" I said, "No worry, man, I got you." You know what I'm saying? Now 2025, I say, "Yo, let me get number 3." I said, "No, man, you're gonna get up and come with me to the store."
You got $20, bro.
Get the fuck out of here. And they got the nerve to be asking for tips everywhere you go. If somebody want a tip,
Yeah, bro.
It's crazy.
They pay to be boss, man.
Shit, man. What you gonna do?
That's they pay to be the boss. Man. You want to be the boss? We on road. You want to be the boss? You want to give out all these stupid ass contracts? You want to get role players? $212 million. Okay, cool. Now I gotta treat the role players like superstars, right? I don't give a shit about. Oh, Sylvester, OG Anunoby, he wasn't paid to be an all-star. So why the fuck the motherfucker got the same contract as Trae Young, bro? Like I don't care about that, bro. When you paid a certain way, you get treated a certain way.
But then they come with the rebuttal, say, "Oh, but the highest player now is getting 70 million, so OG's actually playing at a discount." Like, yo, what are we talking about? What are we talking about, though? You know what I'm saying? Shit is crazy.
I'm a treat OG like I used to treat Zach Randolph when he played for the Knicks. Like, oh nah, he's just another role player. We good. No, bro, nah, bro. We need no. These when you pay Karl Anthony Towns the amount of money he get, that motherfucker is required to be an all-star. Period. Anything less than all-star production is a failure. That's why I don't really look at him last season, because I'm like, he did his part. He did what he was supposed to do. He ain't do nothing that he wasn't supposed to do. Everybody else like, oh, no, Karl Anthony Towns, he don't play no defense. Man, the motherfucker. Let's look at the motherfucker. What they did last season.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm at with it, man. So I like the team direction. I like what they're doing. I love the fact that they're looking at Malik Beasley. I think that's a great pickup. I hope they get it.
Basketball wise and how it fits, it fits. Somebody with that skill set shooting the threes is definitely going to be something that's positive for the team. So just as long as the Knicks are looking like that, looking to add players to the team that's going to actually help the team. That I don't want to see no nepotism type of thing. I don't want to see nothing like that. Just getting a guy to satisfy somebody else. I hope we don't do that. Shaman is still on the table too. So we'll see. There's still even just based off the Karl Anthony Towns trade, because that happened like the day before training camp. Shit, you know what I'm saying? So it's still on the table that a trade could be made. So the Knicks could get in their own way in that way too. So, but present day, I think with the current lineup now, we already got a 9-man rotation as it is. So I think that we're fine. So. But anything else that they can come up with, if it makes sense, we could talk about that as that comes along.
I hope they get Malik Beasley with that. Or get both. Trade Tyler Cole and one for home, or one of them to get both. That's all I'm seeing.
They might, that might be in the cards for us, man. You might end up doing something like that.
I got he threw that at me like he asked me that earlier before I get you out of here. He asked me that earlier, like, yo, State, if there was a chance to trade for Cone Daly or Tyler Cole, one of them, and you get Ben Simmons and Malik Beasley, you do it? I say, motherfuckers, the sky blue. Do weed smoke?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes the sky be gray. Sometimes it be pink. Sometimes you can eat the weed. Sometimes it's not smoking. Sometimes it's like maybe like vaping, not really smoke. Sometimes it's a little different.
Oh yeah, sounds like
Well, you said get out of here. You know how long we've been on this motherfucker? It's only been like almost 3 hours now. So I think I might need to get off this fucking thing.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even know.
Yeah, I gotta see if my kids are still alive, man.
Yeah, let me go. I gotta go help out. That's all I know. You like this fucking head.
We did our thing, though, man. A lot of great points, man. I really like the bullet points you posted. That's all on your Instagram. I mean, not Instagram, your Twitter feed. The different bullet points there about each players, their pros and cons, and what they do well. I think that's fucking awesome.
That's different. I'm sick of motherfuckers saying, yo, State, you got a narrative, but you don't never put no opinion or fact to it.
Yeah.
They don't tell on that. So like they are arguing now. So
yeah, there's a lot of different shades to people, man. Like you have multiple different personalities on social media and stuff. The way that you communicate with each other is way different than how you communicate otherwise. So so yeah, you gotta see the person fully, for what they bring to the table, not just what you conveniently want to only focus on,
So yeah. So we got 402 people in here. Hero, any last words for the people? We both got to get out of here. I don't want my cousin to curse me out. You look like he want to curse me out right now.
I don't want ACS coming after me. How about that shit? But if I could tell everybody what's up, I see what's my man here that posted a comment in here? Is it Jay from Florida? I said Jay from Florida posted something in here. He's saying what Eru talking about. Eru needs to start talking more, man. I haven't done a podcast in a long time. Just I just haven't had time for it. I've been doing other shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's not easy making content, bro. Everybody got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? You see what State is doing. State is literally working right now. We're helping out, and then you have a full-time job and stuff. So you make it happen. You make it work for yourself. So it's not easy, especially when there's no money coming in. It's just you're just doing this shit out of love, hoping this opportunity will come up. You know what I'm saying? But in the meantime, the grind, it's we're real people, bro. You know what I'm saying? We're real people. So thanks for people that pop in super chats. Thank you guys for all the people that's popping in on Twitter that's listening, man. Definitely appreciate it because that's what keeps us going. No doubt.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. Shouts to all you people in the chat. Crazy. Shouts to you, Eru. Another Diehard State of Mind podcast, episode 95. Oh my God, this is 95. We about to get it.
We got to do it more often, man. Maybe not necessarily once a week, but maybe like every 2 weeks or something.
We gotta get out this motherfucking summer, bro. That's all it is, bro. This motherfucker. Oh,
no doubt.
It's the summer nonsense, man. Shouts to all you Knick fans, man. 400 plus in here today. Appreciate you guys, man. We saying 2 hours. We got everything. Mike Brown, Malik Beasley, Lil Vincent. So we talked about the kids, all regular life stuff. Love all you guys. Eru.
I don't love you guys.
Well, I love you guys, man. I don't know you.
I'm on some other shit.
Everybody, man. Appreciate you guys about it, man. Peace and blessings. One love, man. Appreciate all you guys. This audio will be out later on. One love. Peace.
Peace.